Hello, everybody. What's up? What's up? Hi, chat. Sorry, I'm a bit late because I was waiting for people to actually show up, but I guess Nick and AC can't join us today, so it's just Chimera and me for now. Our guest will be joining us. He is in Japan, which is the exact opposite time where we are now, so it's early in the morning. So he did message me. He'll be here in about like 15 minutes. So in the meantime, I'm just going to, let's talk to the chat, and I'll update everyone on Fiendish. So welcome, old friends, old and new. There's anyone new around here? Lingo's Vengeful Ghost, hello. What's up, Alex VRB? Chimichanga? What's up with Chimichanga? Earthmind, hello. Hello, J-Dog. Hi, hail. Eric, I saw. I made you angry. I do apologize. Yes, smash that like button. Smash it. Scotsman, what's up? Hey, El Padrino. Rick. Hey, everybody. Hey. All right. So let's see. I don't know what's up with everyone today. I guess no one wants to talk today. I sent the link out, didn't I? I guess everybody's busy. AC and Nick are a little too busy today. So I suppose let me just update everyone on Fiendish. Let me pull it up.
Well, update for my campaign. I just ordered the proof from Mixium right now, as you were talking.
Oh, there you go. Fantastic. The proof? So you send the PDFs out for proof, or is it like in print?
No, I'm getting a physical copy.
Sweet. All right. Hell yeah. I'm trying to pull up the colors for Fiendish as well. Let me share my screen. So smooth. Mikra! I said it right this time. Mikra. I'm not angry, just disappointed. Oh, that's worse. Aw, I won't disappoint you anymore. I mean, I probably will be late again, but I'll improve. I'll lessen my lateness from now on. Altercation, ahoy! Hello, Orange Drank. Hi. The new Kickstarter food. What?
Yeah, some lady got hired at Kickstarter, and she immediately either started blockbotting people or blocking them manually. I'm not blockbotted, so I think she's just going through a thread and just blocking everybody on site.
Oh, like where is she? Where is she pulling this block list from?
I guess people are adding her in Kickstarter. I can't view her tweets because she went protected, so that's always a good sign.
That's a great sign. Yeah, that's really great customer service, isn't it?
Yeah, go over to Kickstarter.
Yeah, go over to Kickstarter where they block you and don't let you, don't communicate with you. That's great. That's really lovely. Lord Crackhead, hello. What's up? Ryan Cardinal, hi. Hello, Shane. Better late than never. I was only a little late. I'm sorry. Forgive me. I was waiting for people. If only people showed up, that would have been, we would have started on time. So blame my other regulars. All right, let me share my screen. Share. Yay! So Fiendish is doing really well. We are past 28,000. Thank you guys. Oh my god.
I linked Fiendish in the chats.
No, it's Fiendish. It's not funny. It's Fiendish. So we're past. Okay, we're past 28,000. Thank you, everybody who backed the book, and we're still aiming for the 30K stretch goal, but I'm going to cut it off soon because I actually. I just got an email from the printer. The interiors for the Grayscale, so the Grayscale book is already at the printer, and the interiors are all printing, and the covers are being they're printing, and they also have to apply to UV. So that's what's been like holding things up, to apply like UV lamination to everything. But they're going to be binding it like Friday, and so it should be shipped out like. Did they say Friday or Monday? So I'm assuming I'll get it sometime mid next week, which is good because I was getting a little nervous. I was like, I want these books by August, but it got my schedule got pushed back a few days because of course it does, because like I was going back and forth over the UV cover, but everything is good now. So update on the Grayscale books. Those are going to be to me in my hands in the middle of next week. And then I'll like immediately start sending stuff out. Oh, and also Demon Sandy. Yay. So you guys probably saw the video I made for, let's see, this, but I did an unpacking video, but also look, this is the Demon Sandy. It came in. It's so awesome.
Made in Taiwan, Taiwan #1.
Made in Taiwan, yes. Well, I found this company that had worked with like museums in Taiwan. So I heard their quality was really good. So like, I mean, I could have gone with like a cheaper factory, but it's not like they're expensive. These things are still like, it's still affordable. But I heard their products were really good. So I went with them. Also, I like supporting Taiwanese businesses. I'm from there. So I ordered these. These are actually the samples. I'm really picky. So I actually think the colors could be a little richer. So I sent them a new file with like color adjustments, and it's not going to be like super obvious. It'll just be the dark purples will be a little more purple. And I think the tentacles will be a little more red. But by the way, the base is like front and back. You can put it in either way, but yeah, so it's pretty big. Look at this, and I'm still very happy with how this came out, even though like the ones that you guys will be getting will be slightly different in color. It's also really thick. I went with like 3mm acrylic, so I think like 2mm is a little more common. So I'm just really picky. I want everything I make to like be super nice. So this is why I don't make money, because I spend it all on products. But anyway, so if you would like one of these little babies, you can still get it on the Fiendish Indiegogo. Yeah, and I think I'm only making 300 of them. So I've like about over 100 are taken out. So probably only like 150 or so are still going to be available. So nab them while you can. Yep, yep.
Yeah, I'm looking at my I'm looking at my Battle Maiden standee, and that one is definitely thicker. This was made in China though.
Yeah, this one is, I went with 3mm. I know this is thicker, but I wanted it to be like nice and sturdy, you know, just because I'm just afraid of like breaking things. I want this to last. This is a sturdy demon. Yeah, I really like this idea. I'm thinking of like making little acrylic gaming pieces. I saw some people were doing that on Kickstarter, and I was like, okay, maybe for chapter 2. First of all, for chapter 2, I'm going to do another standee, but it'll be a character, and probably Ragna, because you know people like her design, right? But I was also thinking of doing like playable, like 2-inch or 1.5-inch tall little miniatures. So that'll be like thinner acrylic, but you can actually play that on a game board. But I'll see what the interest is for that, because I am already making dice. I'm going to be making custom dice for chapter 2, because I'm crazy like that. So I got my dice blanks.
For chapter 2, I'd probably suggest doing a head sketch tier, so people can get a sketch on the inside front cover and they can pick which character.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah,
but I'd probably limit it to
like
10. I'd probably limit it to 10 or 15.
Yeah, I'm definitely. Well, I want to do the wood burning again, but I'm going to limit it this time, just because, like, you know, I didn't limit it last time and that didn't turn out so well. So I'm still in a production hell for that stuff. So yeah, these are the dice. There's nothing on it, but I got my dice blanks. I'm going to be hand making and casting some dice, and let's see how it turns out. Hopefully it turns out well. So I will have custom gaming dice for chapter 2 of Fiendish, and that'll be very exciting. Oh, you can't see. Okay, I'm sorry. My lighting is absolutely terrible. All right. Well, enough of me, because guess what, everyone? Our special guest is here. Hello.
Oh, snap.
What's up?
Hey.
What's up? Hello. Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. Do you want to be called Tatsumi or Sam? Because I'm used to calling you Sam.
It doesn't matter. Sam is fine.
Okay, cool. I'm just used to it because I got to know you as Sam. So
of course, no, not a problem. Yeah, it is my name, so.
Right. But like professionally, your website is you go by Tatsumi.
Well, so Tatsumi is my Japanese name and Sam is my American name, so they're both fine. Yeah.
Cool.
Sorry guys, I just literally woke up like 30 minutes ago and my hair's all.
Oh no, it's no problem. Yes, thank you for coming on. And let me take this off. So back fiendish, everybody. And I posted a color update on Twitter, so I should post it on the Action Campaign page. But okay, anyways, yeah, that's not none of this is important. Sam is here, so we should talk to him right now, and we'll go around and plug everybody's work at the end. So I'll update everybody. I'll show some color work that Nick's been sending in, and show some of the some more updates at the end. So that's it for now. So welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming on. I know, like, literally you're the opposite time zone. So it's like PM, AM, we just switch it. So it's in the morning for you. You just got
usually people would be awake, but I have like the worst sleeping habit. Like, I'm a night owl, so I go to bed at like 3 to 4 a.m. and then I wake up like during noonish. So I mean, yeah, so it's a good opportunity for me to actually wake up normal hours and act like a normal human being. So thanks.
Yeah, no, same here. Even I have a day job and my schedule is still shit. So I sleep evenings. My day job is done at 6. So I'll like take a nap, and then like I don't have like a set sleep schedule because I like to work all night because it's just easier for me to work at night. So I'll like take a nap right after work, and if I have a stream, I'll wake up at like 7 and like be somewhat presentable and then like scramble here. But then like usually I'll sleep until like 11, and then I'm just up all night drawing. So I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me, but that's just how.
I think that's how artists operate.
Your English is really good.
Thanks. I went to international school here, so I'm hoping I'm one of the few bilingual people in the manga community. So I hope I can actually say something useful today and answer questions, if any. And
right. I think people have been very excited for you to come on and give your perspective. So enough talking about our sleep schedules. All artists are fucked up like this. It's just normal.
Yeah.
So I suppose, why don't you tell everyone who you are, where you're from, and what's your background in like art or schooling and everything?
All right. So I'm Sam. I grew up in Tokyo, and I'm in Tokyo right now. As mentioned, I went to international school, so that's where I learned my English, and actually went to the States for about 5 years. I went to this art school called Walnut Hill in Boston, which is one of, I don't know, like the few art high schools in the States. And then I went to the School of the Art Institute of Chicago for university. And I didn't graduate because I always knew I wanted to pursue manga as a career. I was there for a few years, and I transferred to Kyoto Seika University, which is like the only university in Japan that has that teaches manga as a major. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of schools here that have like manga courses and stuff like that, but not as a major. So it was an interesting school because we had teachers that were retired manga artists, or from retired manga artists to people that were actually still drawing in the industry. And we had like a lot of, I don't know if any of you guys have read Bakuman, but
yes.
So you kind of get the gist of how in the Japanese manga industry, it's like a one-man thing, but then editors will kind of they're on the same team almost, like you work together. So there was a department where for manga editors and a lot of manga editor teachers. So anyways, it was interesting thing. And after that I worked in an IT company for about a year, and then I quit my day job and I pursued manga for about 3 years. And during that time, that's when I had I did Manga Assistant and experienced all that. And then I worked at a global ad firm, and then I took a break and now I'm a freelancer. So I still do stuff related to advertising. I took a break from manga as well for about a couple of years. But now I'm slowly getting back into it. So unfortunately, I don't have anything to show for the past few years, nothing recent, but slowly but surely getting back into it. So that's where I am right now. And yeah, talking with you guys is one of the few things I'm doing to, get back into the community. And although I'm not up to date, like slowly but surely get back in. Yeah,
Right
thanks for.
on.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Someone was asking in the chat what titles you work on, if you can say.
Oh yeah. Let's see.
I was gonna show.
Ooh, show us. Yes, I actually don't even know. I met you at Tokyo Comic Con like 4 years ago or so, 4 or 5 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but I actually don't. I'm not sure what you worked on. I've seen your personal comics.
Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, so Tokyo Comic Con was before I did like assistant work. One title I worked on is it's not so famous in overseas or anything right now, but it's a soccer comic called Tiempo.
Ooh, let me
which means
full screen that.
Means tempo in Spanish, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh,
And
okay.
so it was a really interesting journey because now it's kind of popular, in Japan. But I worked on it I was there from volume 1, chapter 1, and up till I think book 5.
Yeah.
And so just to give you guys a little insight on the industry here, it's not like, so this was for a major publisher called Shueisha, which is the publisher for the most popular magazine Shonen Jump here. And so Shonen is, I'm sure you guys know, but it's a category specifically for targeted towards kids. And though because of culture differences, what may be for kids here isn't necessarily the same there. But anyways, there's a genre called shonen, and then there's a genre called seinen, which is more geared towards young adults and have more nuanced themes.
Right.
And so the comic I worked on would be categorized into seinen. And anyways, Shueisha's seinen magazine is called Young Jump, young as in young adults. So so anyways, so I got to work at a major company for a major magazine called Young Jump through this comic, and it was interesting because what was I gonna say? It's not all fun and games when it starts. It's like you're broke as shit. Yeah,
that's what I hear. I was actually gonna ask you about that, but jump into it. It's rough, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Like you're fucking broke as shit. I'm sorry, excuse my language.
Oh no, you can swear. I don't care. Yeah, just don't say anything where YouTube might strike my channel. But yeah, we don't censor people here.
All right. Yeah. So
Go
you're
ahead.
broke as shit, and the industry. I mean, it's not just me, but poor like manga artists, because like you pour your heart and soul into getting that cereal, and like by the way, like no one takes care of you like while you're actually dedicating your life trying to get on the magazine. It's like you're working one-on-one with the publisher, and it's like kind of an unspoken expected for you to devote all your time and resources to it. And the reason why most people, like I had to give up in the middle or whatever, is just purely, it's like you can't support yourself financially that way, right? And it's like, well, anyways, so we call the artist sensei, right? Like, it's just a word.
The artist who's actually creating the manga is the sensei.
Right. Like sensei just it literally means teacher, but it's like kind of a word you use towards anybody that that's like a master of his craft or whatever, right? So we just call him sensei. And anyways, so my sensei is he's like only a few years older than me, and it took him a long time, and he got his series, and Young Jump was like, here, yeah, you can do your thing. which is like, it's a feat in itself because only a handful of people get to, Young Jump is like one of the most prestigious ones. And like, you'd think that you'd be kind of financially good, right? But no, man, they pay you like, so you have to pump out, I think, about 19 pages a week, including.
Okay, American artists, listen to this.
Right.
19 pages a week. Well, hold on. That's with assistants, though. So,
Yeah,
on average,
but
how many assistants are, and what do they do?
So he had about 3 to 4 assistants, which comes out of your pocket, by the way. That's another fucked up thing. Shueisha is not paying for any of this shit, right?
Okay.
Right? So that's why you're broke as shit. Like, so one page they pay you about, if I'm not mistaken, about $100. So you get $1,900 a week, right? But still, it's like, but most of that goes to your assistants and this and that. So, and yeah, 19 pages, including making the story, by the way. So you don't get a week to draw. You never get a week to draw. You get like 4 days to draw or some shit like that.
Yeah,
So,
I've seen like what is it? Rumi Takahashi's schedule was
Yeah,
released a while ago, and it's just like a Monday write, Tuesday roughs, or Wednesday pencils, and then the rest of the week like drawing. And it's like she has her schedule planned out hour by hour. Was it her or was it Oda? I don't remember, but it was literally
Sounds like
hour by
everyone.
hour. Oh no, Oda's schedule was both of them. They released their schedules, and it was like, okay, they have like 2 hours a week of free time. Like it's including like time with family, including eating. So it's really nuts, man. Hours are insane.
It's like how, I mean, if you like it enough, you will naturally dedicate your life to it. But the thing is, times are changing, and then it's like, you can't, it's like, I mean, this comes a lot from the Japanese mentality or Asian mentality of like community comes first, where it's like, thanks. It's like you're expected to dedicate your life and soul for the bigger community, which is like, well, no, not really, not many people think that way anymore. And like, as much as I would, just because it's the way, it's what makes me happy. Like, I get extremely frustrated when like companies think that it's like something to be expected. And it's like, no, bitch, I'm doing this out of the, not kindness on my heart, but it's because I love to. But that should never be taken for granted. I mean, my time is my time, And
right on.
Yeah. Anyways, that's kind of a little. Sorry, I realized I didn't kind of share too much insight. Like, I don't know if I shared anything useful, but that was the way it went. Like, money and time.
No, that's very interesting information. I mean, it's just like coming from America, we kind of hear, second hand or third hand. We know mangaka and anime artists are paid shit and the schedules are crazy, but it's different hearing it from someone who's actually worked in the industry. And for example, it's interesting to hear you say that it seems like things are changing, because I don't know about that. I never lived in Japan. All I hear is it seems like everyone is kind of the culture is very work hard, and it doesn't. I haven't heard of people saying that, oh, we shouldn't be made to do overtime for free all the time. So
well, it's like things are changing slowly. Like, and because I mean, I've always felt this way because I'm bilingual, but I think what I'm saying is think everything's globalizing, and the idea of Western individualism is one way or another kind of seeping into the culture. So people kind of realize that they don't have to be like just a fucking cog in the machine, It's like kind of like, oh, I can have my own opinions. And so they might not realize it in that way. They might not use fancy words like individualism or whatever the hell, but it's like they kind of get it though. And so, I mean, now like Japan is all about how you enter one company and you kind of expect it to stay there for the rest of your life.
Yeah, that doesn't happen here.
No, right? But that's already changed.
I'm just curious, how much vacation time do you guys get a year?
Dude, like nothing. You know why? Because you want to take a vacation. It's the same shit. It's like people look at you like, what you can take it, but you actually gonna take it? You're gonna make and it's like for me it's like yeah, or why the hell? What the fuck? Like what? But the thing is like
I've heard that they have like what is it? Like menstruation vacation time for women. It's like, oh, it was everybody was celebrating when that was made legal in some or some companies implemented it in Japan. But then it's like, well, no one takes it because they'll be looked down on if they take it. It's like you're being lazy. So
yeah,
it's the same
like,
with vacation time.
Yeah, it's like so everybody's like because everything's like extremely busy here because first off you're already expected to work overtime and no one goes home and it's like and it's so herd mentality that it's like hard to be the first out of everybody that it's like hey I want to take a break because no one's saying it and once you do you're an easy scapegoat for everybody to blame like if the work doesn't come on time it's like oh that motherfucker he just left us and like but you know, I'm saying that type of shit is changing, like slowly but surely. Yeah, it's like now people change jobs. Like it's common to change jobs like every not 2 to 3 years is a bit, but I mean, still people change jobs. It's really normal now, and like more jobs are trying to go, like you know, let their employees take breaks and whatnot. I just try to avoid that altogether by like specifically only applying for foreign-based companies. Like, but the last agency I was in was a London-based company.
That's hard.
But yeah, but still, it's the same because there are foreigners, but there are Japanese people too. So it's like my team was specifically like super domestic. It was funny because there was a lot of foreigners and they all went home on time, but only my team was like, you know, there till like 2 or 3 a.m.
Oh my god!
Yeah, they're all bitching about like the foreigners, right? Oh, they all go home, those lazy ass, and I'm just like I'm the newbie,
shocker!
Like,
you go home when you're supposed to go home.
I know. I'm like I can't say shit because I'm the newbie, but I was just like laughing, like bro, it's called having a life, man. Like,
yeah, I've heard that doesn't quite exist for a lot of Japanese companies, but I'm glad to hear that things are changing. Having like some downtime. I mean, of course, I really do admire, you know, it's like an East Asian thing, the work ethic, and that's how I was raised. And honestly, I think like a lot of Americans could use more of that. But I think it needs seriously. But I think there needs to be a balance, right? You work hard, but it can't be to the point where you don't see your family, where you're at a company till 2 a.m. That's a little ridiculous. And at least you should be paid for working the overtime. I never liked that, where like you're expected to work overtime in Asia and they don't pay you for it.
Not to mention people are taking swan dives off the top of buildings, you know.
What did you say?
Yeah.
People were jumping to their deaths, weren't they? Because they were so
Yeah.
Well,
students are driven to do that all over. It's like the teen, you know, YouTube doesn't like the word, but the rate for that is really high all over East Asia. It's really, really sad. So, you know, it's the pressure. You have to get into college and all that. People really like this cover. Someone asked, does this cover come with her number? And is she nice? Who is this lovely lady? Sorry, just a random model.
That's another thing that I should mention about the culture here. So, hold on. Let me get a few of my comics.
Oh, yes. Show us your comics. Oh, I should ask them that.
Yeah, I mean, hell, do your own Indiegogo, dude.
Yeah, well, I was gonna suggest it to him.
You can print and fulfill in America.
Yeah. I mean, I'll help him out. Yeah, when he comes back. Yeah. El Padrino asked, "Do you have social media?"
I have Instagram, but I think I can't remember my ID. I think it's the same Tatsumi Kyo, Tatsumi Kyo with no space.
Okay, I'll try to find it and put it up.
Yeah, it's the same thing as my portfolio though. So, this girl, right? Well, so
right. I mean, you know, I know what people like, so I figured I'd give everyone something nice to look at while we talk.
Then I think her, I don't know how to read her name. like that's another thing about the Japanese language. It's like
it's
there's
like
no we
weird
borrow like
kanji.
Chinese characters.
Oh,
Like if any of you are Chinese or
there
can
you go.
read Chinese, like that's her name, right? But this is a hard part
度完
about.
妙野花.
Yeah, see, it usually works like that. Like you can't like, but in Japanese, there's no one right way to read somewhat like the Chinese characters. So it could
I know
be
that's
virtually anything.
yeah, the
And
meaning
unless you,
is the same, but the pronunciation completely different. Oh, that's
yeah, like,
Maru, right? The second word is Maru. That's
yeah,
all.
yeah, yeah. So I know her, so I can read her, her first name, which is Sayaka.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
Okay.
there's probably like her last name is probably it seems like it'd be read Tomaru, but I can't. I'm not sure because there's literally like an infinite way of reading it.
I think people just want to know if she's single or not.
You can let's pretend she is. There you go.
There you go.
Oh, she's very pretty.
Oh,
So what is that magazine? Is that just like a manga magazine?
Yeah,
like a
this is
seinen
like
magazine?
yeah, this is a seinen manga
Okay.
magazine, and
Nice.
so usually seinen manga magazines or shonen for that matter too, except for Jump, they have these like models on the cover all the time, and
Yeah.
it's called gravure. I don't even know how to properly pronounce it
Yeah,
in
it's
English.
gravure.
Gravure idols,
Mhm.
and I just recently found out gravure is, I think, refers to the type of print they use on these cheap covers, and so that's why they're called gravure idols, because they come in the gravure page. But it's just like part of the comic culture here, where like you'd have your comics, and just to make it a bit more exciting for people, they have like a pretty girl on every single time, and this stuff is weekly, so
Nice.
it's always a different girl every time. Yeah, so I don't agree on that with the shonen stuff, because it's like I always felt, dude, come on, like
I was
like,
surprised
these
to
are-
hear that they do that for shonen. 'Cause I have some like Shonen Jump, and it's all just the manga.
the Shonen Jump is the only exception, because like, so that's why another reason why I like Jump is like they try to I can't the term, not fight, but like they compete with their own manga, which is like they have full confidence in what they're doing. You know, they don't need to use pretty girls to sell their shit. It's like,
Oh yeah,
yeah, I mean, come on, man. Like if you have good content, use it. Like don't
that's true. They
fucking cheap
are.
out that shit.
Yep. You're right. Shonen Jump. I don't know what was. I'm blanking on what company publishes Jump. But
Shueisha.
Okay, Shueisha as well. Well, for specifically Shonen Jump, I think they're the company who made all of their content available for like $2 online, right?
Really?
And
I didn't know that.
yeah, they made their comics available on an online, or it's an app, and
Yeah.
it's available for like $2, and every like is it monthly or yearly? It's something fucking ridiculous, and it's like, okay, you don't do that unless you're sure that you can make money even when you're offering stuff that cheap. It's kind of gangsta, to be honest. If only we could do that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're like, yeah, and they're the only ones like actually surviving, I feel like, because it's like no one buys manga anymore, because I mean, at least through like paper. I mean, like digitally, but yeah. So
yeah, digital is a lot bigger in Asia. I noticed when I moved back to Taiwan for a couple years, and I realized that everyone reads webtoons, or it's all digital. And it's so it's really hard. When I was growing up, there were manga bookstores everywhere, all over the place. Like I would walk to school, there would be like 4 on the way, and they're all closed down now. So there's only a couple in every city, and because everybody reads online. But it's different in America. What's really interesting, I don't know how much you know about the indie comic scene here, or just comics in general. People in the United States and in Europe as well are really big on print books still, and
Oh,
that's what
man.
I'm getting into. And a lot of people in the chat are creators or supporters of indie comics. And Chimera here, who's a repeating guest, he's here all the time. He also has his own book. He's an indie creator, and we crowdfund our books mostly, and it's all print books because the customers here like to have printed books. It's very different. And I think actually someone in the chat was encouraging you to try crowdfunding and printing your books for an American audience. So if you ever want to consider that,
Oh yeah,
I think people would love it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
please. Like I'm I don't know how long it take, but again, I'm getting back into manga, and right now I'm working on some. So when that's all done and good, yeah, maybe
Sweet.
I'll make an English version, and that'd be sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, there's an
Yeah.
audience. There's a big audience for it here. So I don't know. I think you can test it out, and because it's crowdfunding, so it's not. There's no risk. You
True.
and I'm sure, like, if your story is good, again, if your story is good, then people like it, and then
Yeah.
they'll back it, and you have the printing funds, and you can print in America. I mean, if you need me to help out, I'm always here. You can
Oh damn,
fulfill
thanks.
for an
Yeah.
American audience.
You would
But
need
yeah.
to
I do.
you need to stream to get the word out about your IP. So you
That
would have to
too.
get up
But
in
you
the
could
morning.
you can talk to people, and it helps that you speak English.
That's awesome. Oh, by
Yeah.
the way, out of curiosity,
Mhm.
what's the pace of American comics like? So in Japan, it's like weekly, right? And I kind of know the schedule, but in the States, is it like, it's not weekly, is it? It's
No, it's monthly
So for
or
most
bi-monthly.
books, it's monthly. Some are bi-monthly. That's for like Marvel and DC books, and I guess
right.
Image books as well.
Bi-monthly?
That's like the
Uh-huh.
traditional model. So
Okay.
usually it's a monthly book, and it used to be 24 pages. They keep on cutting it down. It's like 20 pages now because they're
And you
lazy.
got 2 months?
Yeah.
Like
So
less than 20 pages?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck
Yeah.
It's even less
You
than
guys
that.
hear this? You guys hear this?
Well, it's even
Holy
less than that because
shit,
they put
man.
ads in the comic books, so it's more like
Holy
20
shit.
pages of interior.
Damn.
No, it is still 20 story pages. At least the last time I worked for Marvel, it was 20 story pages, but they would just pad it out with like another 4 or 5 pages of ads. Though it's like crowdfunding comics are a little different. It depends on every person, but the books for like on the crowdfunding websites now, because there's a pretty big indie scene here, because it's really complicated. It's a lot of it's just because crowdfunding has gotten more popular, but also there are some problems with the big two, which we won't get into. I can tell you about it if you want sometime. But
Yeah.
anyways, I'm just glad to see that there's a big crowdfunding scene. There's a big indie scene, because that's always what I wanted to do. And I didn't even really want to go to Image Comics, which used to be the place to go to for independent work. But it's still
Right.
become kind of a place where you already have to be famous. And frankly, they don't actually promote you. It's complicated, but they don't actually promote you. You have to front the cost. I'm like, why don't I just go to crowdfunding? So there is a big audience for it, but the model for indie comics is different than like the monthly model, because usually you put your project, you propose your project, you try to have some art and sell people on the story, and once it's funded, usually people will set a release date, and it could be months out. So you fund it first, and then you finish drawing the book, and these books are much bigger. So usually I'd say the average book that's on like Indiegogo is like the primary platform for comics, I would say. For crowdfunding, is like at least 50 pages, so 50 to 60 pages, sometimes more. A lot of people are coming out with books that are like over 100 pages, so you got like 6 months or 7 months to do that. That's a general expectation. So that's a bit of a different model that's kind of arising. It's something new that's different from the mainstream. So
Right.
that's
Like
what you can expect if you try to jump into it.
I mean, indie makes sense because it's like, it feels like, if I'm not mistaken, it's just you, right? So it's like there is no set schedule, right? You just do it at your own pace, right?
Well, you have to. It takes the right kind of person, because you have to keep yourself on schedule, and it's it's nice if you can. You should still try to find yourself an editor. So a lot of people doing indie comics still get themselves an editor. Technically, like I have like AC is kind of my editor, not formally, but like she goes through everything that I do, and I'm working with the colors as well because I don't. So like I have someone doing interior colors. It's always better to have like people look at your work. So it's a small team. We don't have like an assistant kind of structure here, but it's still like at least 2 or 3 people working on a book. Usually, I would say.
Right. Okay, yeah, because I was like, how long do those people have? You know, each time I'm like, it's like 3 a.m. and just drawing. I'm like, I wonder how long.
Yeah, I'll say when I worked for Marvel, it was like 20 pages a month, and it was just rough for me as I had a day job at the same time. So it was and it was like, but I wasn't doing colors. It was just pencils and inks. But it's doable, frankly.
Right, that's another thing, right?
It's like, also don't pay you enough.
Split, right?
It's all it's all split. Yeah. It's the thing is, you know, they don't pay you enough to make a living in America because it's expensive in America. So it's really complicated. Damn. Yeah, that's
sucks.
part of why I stopped working for Marvel, and also a bunch of weird stuff like. They kept on putting me on titles that didn't fit me. It was really strange. But you can't expect a company to like care about this is your style. This is what you want to do. Like if you want that, you have to go independent. So like the company is an unfeeling corporation. They don't care about, you know, your style, your dreams, or your stories.
Yeah, manga is huge over here in the States. I don't know if you know, but it's just that you know, the Western people, they project their own politics into the Western comics, so people just naturally went to manga, which is, you know, you get a thick like 200 page or 150 pages for like $10.
Right.
It's just a good deal and better storytelling.
Yep, that is part of the problem. Also, like that is part of the problem, but also just like the marketing model is absolutely terrible for comics. I think it's really weird. It's like why don't they market comics in every corner store, and why isn't comics ubiquitous? Like the Marvel movies were so successful. Coming from Asia and seeing how anime and manga is in like every 7-Eleven. The newest like One Piece, every 7-Eleven you would have it there. I don't understand why it's not the same in America, but it's just I feel like American comics aren't very good at marketing themselves. But a bunch of other like direct market shit. It's weird.
I mean, I agree. It's like I feel the marketing is what made a big reason what made manga so good, because like it's like so you go in every convenience store, right? And there's like a bunch of manga like this just in the stacks, and you know by nature like no reader has any obligation to buy your shit. It's just there, and they will take it. They may see a pretty girl, they'll flip it, and they'll read it like this. They don't have any obligation to read your shit. So you really try really hard to make the first few pages interesting, and that's why like you know we care about paneling, we care about like dialogue doesn't have too much words, the speech bubbles are bigger, because it's all about taking stress away from the reader. Like,
so doing good work. Imagine that.
Yeah, that schoolgirl is like the build of a JoJo's character. Jesus.
I was saying you should talk to Kyung, but muscle schoolgirls. You guys have something common going. Kyung is another indie comics creator. He's very manga style. It would be interesting to hear. You guys should get on a show together.
Yeah, it's pure. It's like almost pure manga, I would say.
Oh yeah. I'll send you a link for his work, or if someone can link Battle Maiden in the chat, that would be fantastic. I was gonna ask you something, I forgot what.
I can share it really quick. It's right here.
Oh yeah, share it. But let's see. Someone wanted to see your comic collection. That would be awesome.
Oh shit! Hold on. I'm using my desktop right now, but I'll show you my wall if I can kind of.
Yeah, is there anything else? Any more volumes of stuff you worked on, or any? See Dojin. People want to see Dojin. Oh, nice.
Man, I can't show the whole wall, but it's just, I have a whole wall with like, man, that's awesome. All the Jojo, and then it's like I have my Dragon Ball figures here, and then like where you can't see, there's like Dragon Ball, Naruto, and like a whole bunch of other.
I see Goku's knee. I can see from the orange knee. That's him.
Unfortunately, I'm not much of a doujinshi guy, though I did see that big
I'm sure.
question on the bottom.
I got it.
All right, so this
Nice.
is Kyung Lee. He does kind of like a manga style. I mean, kind of looks pure manga in my opinion.
Oh damn!
It's all black and white, but it's American, so it's left to right.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
You got that
very
deal
very
going
manga
on.
style.
Yeah.
Except it's produced in America. But
And even
yeah,
has,
like manga really is huge here right now. I think there's people have been taking videos of like bookstores. If you go to a bookstore here, it's like I remember when I first moved to America, it's mind-blowing. It used to be mostly American comics, or even that would be a small section. And then like manga is like you'd find like, you know, Naruto and then like Sailor Moon and everything's out of date. But then now it's 5 shelves of manga and half a shelf of American comics. It's really, really big here. And I mean, I love to see it. I love to see it because I think it's not just about the media. I think more competition is good. So I think America needs some competition, needs to get its ass kicked a little bit to you know.
I mean, at Barnes and Noble, you can just like look around and it's just like a shitload of there's just shelves of manga.
Oh really?
Yeah. Manga is absolutely huge. And My Hero Academia and Demon Slayer are really big right now. Yep, Demon Slayer is absolutely fucking huge here.
I was actually at a Comic-Con in Florida, and all I saw were My Hero Academia, Demon Slayer, and a few Bleach cosplays. Like almost everybody was either that or Joker and Harley Quinn. Like almost everybody. It was like 75% of cosplayers, I would say.
Damn, that's interesting. I think, you know, going back to one of the reasons why I personally speculate manga does well is like it's just easy to read. Like, I mean, one thing when I pick up American comics that I always have a hard time with is like, why the fuck is the text like so microscopic? And also it feels like a movie script where it's like I could probably say the same thing in 2 lines, dude, where they give like a whole paragraph and it's like, but I kind of understand why. It's probably because you guys have, you know, our movie industry sucks balls, but you guys have the best movie industry in the world, and like it probably comes from that. Like I could see the same type of text in like a screenplay, and like, but it works. Why it works in a movie is because you're talking and there's no stress. All you have to do is listen. But when you directly bring that type of, you know, that load of text into paper and pretend like, you know, people don't gotta read it, like, I mean, I gotta read it, and if I see more than like 3 lines in a speech bubble, I'm closing that shit. Cause
I agree. I actually think that's something I've noticed, and we were taught to not do that in art school, in really? Like for sequential art majors. But I think I don't know. I think the actual problem is not everyone is taught that though, because because comics in America usually the writer and the artist are separate, and a lot of people come from writing novels or screenplays, so they don't know how to like they don't think visually very well, especially writers who are just starting out. They don't think about like the how the words will fit on the page, and you don't want to overwhelm the page. You want there to be a balance with the art, and I did notice that. I kind of got used to it, but that was also a huge turnoff for me when I first came into contact with American comics. It's just really wordy. Why? I'm
curious though. What does the editor do there? Because here it's like, so I would like draw your stuff and you bring it in, right? And then like, I'm not saying this right or wrong. Actually, I think editors are assholes, but like they do their job though. They're just like, so I'm like kind of timid, like, you know, your first time into Jump, it's anybody's like that, right? And anyways, it doesn't matter if it's Jump or not. You bring your shit in, and then there's just like this editor, like kind of like just being OG and being like, yeah, I'm too good for you, and then you give him your shit, and literally they don't even read you. You pour your heart and soul into this thing, and they just, yeah, that was shit, and then you're like, did he even read it? Oh, yeah, I'm like 17 or some shit. I'm like, did he even read it? That was pretty quick. And they're like, why should I read it? Like, did you make any effort for me to read it? And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, why? Like, do you know how many words there are on the first page? Like, I'm gonna read this shit. But then like that toughens you up though. Even though I don't agree with that style, it's like traumatic. But
Yeah.
the message comes across. It's like, and plus they start liking you if like, because most people fade away after that. But they really take care of you when they find that you're like one of the few that kind of they just keep coming back. Like, hey,
Right.
sir, and then they're like, hey, this guy got guts, right? And then, but they're hard on you like that, and that's what they, because they're assholes, but they know what they're doing. Like for most part, like they.
Yeah, I was gonna
kinda,
say it reminds me of school, going to school in Asia. I was literally told to jump out the window and kill myself by my teachers.
Holy shit! Okay, that
But-
goes a bit too far, but
it's just like you suck. You should get better test scores. Why are you even living? But I don't know. And maybe that's a little far,
God.
but it's
that is a little far. But
it does like it's a common. It's not all teachers, but I had one math teacher who was kind of crazy.
Right.
But like it does toughen you up. It's like you have to see how dedicated you are, and it's like mildly abusive, but at the same time, if you really want to, if you really persevere and you really love doing this, then you will come back. So I don't know.
Right, but
just the way it is.
That's true, but my point was also they know what they're doing. Like they'd spot out that there's like too many words with like, it's just one of the things they say. But so my question was, what do editors do? Because I can't envision what they really do. Like, how does it work? Like, what do you do with your editor?
By the way, hi, Boob Dan. What's up? Welcome. Boob Dan's another creator. So yeah, thanks for joining. Yay!
Hello.
Editors, they first of all they email everybody and try to get everybody to turn their shit in on time, which nobody ever does. So that's the primary job of the editor. Yeah. So they herd cats is like I think the main job. And from my experience, they spell check. I think so. From what I gather, editors they kind of have the general idea they're the only people who are like full-time employed by, and I'm talking about like Marvel and DC and the big two. They're full-time employed by the company. Writers and artists and colors, those are all farmed out. Those are all freelance basis hires. And the editors will kind of have general idea. Okay, this is the event that we're planning. So you editor 1, you're in charge of this part of the event. Editor 2, you're in charge of this event, and then all of you like figure out which writers you want to hire, which artists you want to hire, and then you kind of manage the writers and artists and try to keep people on schedule. And they also do, when the script comes in, they do spell check. When art comes in, they do like this costume isn't right, the continuity isn't right. They check like if there's any like reading errors. And so that's what my experienced editors do here.
So they're not really involved in the creative process, right? They just check and see if everything is like consistent, or like it's more of the business stuff they take care of, right?
Not as much in my experience. They kind of are. The writers have more of a say in the creative process, unless it's like I said, a big event that a company wants to do. But I have heard, and you tell me if this is true, that in manga the editors almost are like secondary writers, and they can like tell the creators, like overrule them, like stop, don't go this way with the story, go this other way. But it's not. They don't. That's not the case in American comics. Hi Matt, what's up? Some people, Jason, what's up? Hey everyone! If y'all want to hop on,
all the yos.
Link. Yo! Some good people here. Good people. Yeah, sorry, I'm just saying hi to the chat.
I just have a question. What's your favorite manga?
Right now, it's a hard question. But one I've always liked is Bucky. It's on Netflix now. It's like this like over-the-top martial arts manga, Daki, and I'll take out a volume. I just like manga artists that have some originality with their art, because I think everything looks the same now. I can't even tell who drew what these days, but like, yeah, seriously, they all draw the same shit. It's like, do you have any imagination? But I'm trying to find.
Yeah, I can kind of see that. I mean, manga is kind of criticized a lot for having same face everywhere. Ooh,
that's cool.
Full screen you.
That's really cool.
Like this, man.
I love that.
Like, who draws like?
That's so ridiculous.
Right, and then what's amazing is like, okay, it gets more and more detailed. Like this is like how he like shades like the muscles or whatever, right? Like look at
Wow.
right,
Uh,
but this is still 19 pages a week. Like I don't know how he does this. Like even
dang.
even with even with assistance or whatever. Like I heard that he cuts out each frame and then like because there's just no time, and then they
Mhm.
just like pass it around like a like there's no time for like the sensei to finish one page first and then hand it out to the assistants for them to fill in the background, which is how it usually is.
Mhm.
uh, it's like it's like he cuts out each frame and then passes it around and then like pastes it all back up like a jigsaw
Wow.
puzzle at the end. And,
Oh wow, that's really
yeah.
interesting.
That's cool.
I think
Yeah.
I know an indie creator who worked that way, but not with assistants. They
Oh,
just drew
really?
every panel separately. I have no idea how you do that. I have to see the flow of the page. I can't. I don't know how that's possible. Yeah,
This
people
might be
like,
not the right group to drop this name, but there's an artist named Howard Chaykin, and he's like old school. Like he did like the when the original Star Wars came out, like the New Hope movie back in the 70s. He drew the
Mhm.
graphic novel for that and all that.
Mhm.
He does his stuff that way now, where he'll draw like the character and then he'll place him on page and adjust the word bubbling, and he does all that stuff.
Oh, damn.
It's crazy.
Weird.
I'm like, whoa. I have a bunch of his originals, and they're just like weird, sliced up little odds and ends of pieces where I went, oh, this is a good shot of a guy and a girl in a suit and an evening gown or whatever. But yeah,
Really
it's crazy to
interesting.
hear that they're doing that there, like panel by panel, with that many pages.
Well, I mean, I think that's like just exclusive, not exclusively, but he's one of the few. Like most people I know don't do that, and plus now everything's a lot easier because it's digital. Like for me, at my workplace, which was, yeah, the sensei was so nice. He let us go home on time, which is a big thing. Like
Oh god, so nice.
but seriously, it doesn't happen. Like
He's
you
like,
come in
you
at-
sure you don't want me to sleep under the desk? I think I can finish 5 more panels.
dude. I mean,
More
I've
people
experienced
doing
that. It's like I've experienced workplaces where it's like
Yeah.
we go to bed at like 2 a.m. and wake up at 6 or something like that, and because you just But so this dude was like, "Hey man, like, yeah, just come at 10 and leave at 10." And I was
Wow.
like, "You sure?" And he was like, "Yeah." And then how we managed to pull it off was I mean, I think a lot of people do it now these days, but so we did a soccer comic, right? And naturally, there's like a lot of like fields or it takes place in high school, so it's like the same type of background basically. So he get his assistants, including me, to dedicate like maybe a day to draw like a really nice building or a really nice field, whatever. And from then on, he's like, I copy paste time. And we just take that shit and like kind of like change it up a bit, but like copy paste it as many times as we can for like the
Wow.
different appropriate frames. And like people aren't really looking at the background that intensively when you're kind of like reading. So most times like plus it's a soccer comic, so like who cares if it's the same soccer ball? No one really cares. So
Yeah.
yeah. So I think it depends on the nature of a comic and what you're drawing too. Because the one where I was in sleeping bags and not going home was a rowboat comic, and like you can't really copy paste that because like in that because like
Oh yeah.
we're drawing water all the time, water and
Gee.
boats, and it's like you can't copy paste that shit. So
Right on.
I have a
Okay.
question for you. I don't know if being in the business, if you've heard people tell tales of it, but here, like Otomo, Akira artist,
yeah.
he has all those highly detailed backgrounds. Were those
Right,
possibly
right.
done in a similar fashion where they move stuff, or do you think that was all like just brutal by hand?
Dude, I couldn't tell you because I wasn't there, but if I had to guess, I'm thinking it's by hand. Like Otomo-san, I can't,
'Cause he's
I
doing
don't know
that-
the publisher.
He's doing that war book now, right? Like that he's been working on forever.
I
It's
would
like
like to know that.
Really?
Him and Satoshi Kon,
There was some-
his comics are so detailed. Like, how do they manage that?
Dude, I didn't even know Satoshi Kon was a manga artist. I thought he just did
yeah.
anime.
Oh,
shit.
yeah, he started in manga. It's really good stuff.
Hey Dan.
Opus.
But-
I like that one.
To answer the question for Dan, Otomo, I don't know, but I guess that he just probably did everything by hand. Like I really don't know if I have to cut things out.
So okay, so he's just crazy. Okay,
Alright.
Dude,
all right.
he revolutionized the manga scene, like,
Yeah,
and I think he wasn't even in one of the big publishers. I'm really not sure, but his stuff was just so, like, no one's seen that kind of art in manga before. That, like, I think he set the bar for, like, realism, like, to a certain extent, because everything was so caricaturized before that.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was very
And both of-
like a very angular, like sort of cartoony stuff, like Astro Boy type
Right.
stuff. And he was
right.
he kind of pushed it into, like you said, like the photorealism
Yeah.
sort of looking stuff more. I think.
So, yeah, whatever it is, like, yeah, he's crazy. He's just he's always held in, like, really, really, really high regard here. Like,
Okay.
it's just one of those legends you don't fuck with here.
He's just insane. He's just not human.
Yeah.
There you go. That's the explanation. And
Stanley
so-
Kubrick of Japanese
All right.
comics.
So just don't think too
Exactly.
much, guys. We're never gonna be him. All right. End of story.
Hey Dan, how many pages
Yes.
can you get done a day? How many pages can you get done a day, Dan?
I can't hear Chimera. Is this thing working?
Are you ignoring him on purpose, or can you actually not hear him?
Well, you should work in Japan, Dan, because you can get like 10
He
pages.
should.
No.
So,
I don't want to
But-
work in Japan. Like,
yeah.
I can get pages done fast, but given what he said earlier, where he's like, you just work your ass off and you do like, oh, I did the best shit ever, and you go in there and they go, the shit, do it again. Like, no, like I wouldn't be able to deal with that. But yeah, I move pretty quickly. I can do line art. I can do, like, if I'm just sitting, like, and like I've had good sleep the night before,
Right.
and I get up
You're fast.
and I go on a 12-hour tear, I could probably push out a page an hour.
Oh
So-
yeah.
Holy shit,
Useful pages.
that's pretty fast. A page an hour is
Yeah.
fucking fast.
I mean-
And I'll show you what they look. I'll show you. Here's the latest page.
Oh yeah.
So this is like an hour.
Yeah, look at those tits. Jesus.
Ah,
Yup.
All right,
This
all
will
right.
do well in
So-
Japan. You should do a
Yeah.
Japanese translation of that.
It's
Yeah.
but I have slowed down a little bit because the gray tone work I do, which I'll show them some of that. This stuff takes me. I don't know. I'm taking way too long on this. Like, I
but you're
probably
doing everything yourself though. So
Yeah, I'm
you should
writing it.
naturally.
doing all of it.
Yep.
But this is the gray tone stuff,
I love that page.
Shit.
and it takes me. This took me about an hour and a half just to do the gray tones on, just because I'm like being really precious about it.
It's still fast as shit, dude. I
would.
take
That's
a day
pretty
for a
fast.
page. Like
Yeah, I mean that's
I don't know
that's
what-
where the assistants usually
Damn.
come in. You know?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
hearing. I'm like, oh, Irene, if she had an assistant, Irene, she wouldn't have to worry about that building and everybody going, oh, that base of that building. Like, it would just magically happen for her. She so much
No.
But, I
stress.
mean that's how
Also,
it
you
works
have to-
though. Yeah.
you have to
Like,
find
here-
people that can draw good enough and also, but yeah,
Exactly.
it would be nice to have assistants, but no, we don't have that.
We're
here.
evil with the quality control on our work. That's the problem.
And
Yeah.
editors at the big two and other companies, they just suck. They're like the opposite of editors in Japan. There's no passion. It's just all politics.
That too. We do have a bit of a problem with like over politicization of comics here, and it's driven a lot of readers away because it's not about agreeing or not. People just don't want that in their books.
Oh, you mean like within the company, like politicking like that? Like, hey, I like this artist over that artist, kind of.
No.
Oh no, I mean that's everywhere. That happens in every
Yeah.
industry. No,
So,
like
so what are you talking about? Like politics,
like politics.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
ratios
Pushing
of,
that.
of agendas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
imagine that.
Whoa.
How do you think it would be taken if people do that in manga?
Yeah, it would,
How do you
Moving
think?
out over there.
How do you think would that would be received if someone did that in Japan? Tell us.
Again, like here, okay, I have two things to say to that. Like, one is how it always is. The reader has no fucking obligation. So if you put that shit here, no one's gonna buy your shit because no one finds it. No one wants to read it. Like, I don't want to read that shit. But the second part
Look
is
at
the
Irene.
unfortunate part where
She makes me
you
laugh.
know still like all these big companies here, they're companies, and then like the fucking agenda is like actually. Yeah, it's coming here. All the censorship, all the political this
Really?
and that. Well, yeah, like So it's happening, and so I think people just don't know what to do yet. Cause like,
Fuck.
yeah, I was gonna say. So I don't know if you guys know this comic called Chainsaw Man, but
Yes.
it's
Oh,
getting pretty popular.
Oh yes.
Fuck
It's
yeah.
sold out everywhere here.
It's
Like I
so
couldn't
good.
find a copy. If you have
It's
one, send
so
it to
good.
me.
Fuck no,
My
I'm keeping
God.
mine.
The
No, I'm
only way you
keeping
can read
mine.
it here is digitally right now. If you're
Yeah,
just finding
if you
out
can
about
read
it.
it,
The actual fucking book.
it's so good. It's by, I think Shonen Jump. Maybe not Shonen, but actually, I'm pretty sure it is. Anyways, so my
Shonen?
point was, yeah, Shonen Jump. I'm pretty sure. But my point is rather that dude. Ah, yeah, that's
Oh,
it.
there it is. He's
Yeah, that's it.
flexing.
Hell yeah.
Chimera's flexing,
Oh, yeah.
even with his mic off.
Flexing, yep.
So what happens here is usually to make it as a manga artist, you have to do a short story first because they want to see if you can fit your narrative within like 40 pages max, which is like a skill in itself, right? So
Right.
if you can't do that, it's like, yeah, okay, I don't think you're ready type deal. So anyways, this guy, Chainsaw Man dude, made a short story, which is kind of rare for someone who already is a manga artist. It's usually what people like me or the newer guys would try to make to bring into publishers. But anyways, he made such a good short story that was like unorthodox because it was like 100 pages instead of 40, and he just put it out on the internet. And it was like, I never heard about like a short story stirring people up like this, but since it was so good, like it just did. And it was about two girls wanting to be a manga artist, kind of similar to Bakuman, but not really. It was like more real. And like a few years back, we had an animation studio in Kyoto that got burnt down by some dude who was like a serial killer, right? And it's kind of loosely based off that.
Yeah,
Kyoani.
I remember that. That was
Yeah,
fucking
it's
horrible.
loosely based off Kyoani, but it was like a really beautiful story. Like it was just two girls, one artist and one storyteller getting together, and then like towards the end, I think the artist, she gets killed, and then there's a scene,
Wow.
right? Because she's just so good at what she does, and it's like she goes to uni, and then like that girl had like her drawings and paintings all over the wall, and some jealous dude like was looking at the paintings, and then he killed the artist, but it was portrayed in a way where he said he was hearing voices like the pictures on the walls were telling me to kill her kind of thing. And like
yeah, sure. Yeah, sure they were.
yeah, but I'm talking about the manga here, not what happened to Kyoani, but the point is it was a really powerful scene because it just kind of portrayed like how jealous a person can get, and like like someone was jealous of her talent and they wanted her to go away, and like I don't know, like I'm butchering it up because it's just so done well as a comic. But anyways, once it was posted up, damn, these like fucking people that are so bored, they want a bone to pick, and they're like, you can't do that because it's making fun of people with schizophrenia or some shit like that. And then like, because he was hearing voices in his head, and then like at the end of the day, like they had to submit to it, and they changed it into something really generic, and it's like it took away like the whole point of the scene, and it's like,
so people were saying it was offensive that he like the fucking murderous psychopath was acting like a murderous psychopath.
exactly.
Oh wow.
Saying,
shocked.
Right. And it's like,
sounds about right.
And plus the company is Shueisha, so the biggest one, so kind of set a precedent there where it's like, okay, well, they did it once, yeah, so how many more times does this shit have to happen? And
dude,
I was pretty upset about it because it was like such a good fucking comic. Like it was like one of the best short stories I've ever read, period. And
yeah,
man, it just man, I can't believe they censored that shit. Like
that's crazy.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's making its way over there now. I thought that would never fly over there.
Apex
No, it's
Comics
coming.
is telling Ronnie the story you damn well want. Yeah, that's the way it should be,
Exactly.
And I'm like, I won't tell if someone wants to create stuff that's like I don't know, High Guardian Spice and all that. Like, it's Steven Universe. I don't care. Go ahead. I will never censor them, but it's about them telling us how we should create stuff, or telling anyone else how they should make their art.
Well,
like if you don't like it, it's fine. That's not. You don't have to tell anyone else what to do.
So I just changed my avatar. This is High Guardian Spice. It's like an attempt to make American anime, but they just kind of got the look of it, sort of. It still looks like.
No, they didn't. It looks. It doesn't look like it. I'll show you the trailer later. But basically,
it looks like Disney or something.
It's Netflix, right? It doesn't even look like Disney.
No, it's
looks like
it's Crunchyroll.
Crunchyroll. Okay, right. So Crunchyroll is like the primary anime dub and like a service here where you can.
Yeah, I know Crunchyroll.
Yeah. So Crunchyroll. Originally they were supposed to just like giving all their earnings to the Japanese artists, but apparently not. A couple years ago they decided we're gonna do a Crunchyroll original. We're gonna make our own anime, and that the thing they make was High Guardian Spice, and it has been roundly mocked because it really is just like a watered down version of what people think anime is, and it's the way they marketed it was also really weird because I'm all for stuff like I really like stuff that Powerhouse Animation does, Castlevania and the Avatar Last Airbender. That was great as anime influence. I'm all for people cross-influencing genres. That's all cool. But the thing with High Guardian Spice was they were taking money that was supposed to go to Japanese animators and like using it to make their own thing, but also the way they marketed it was our entire writing team is all women. So you should watch our show.
Hell no.
I knew you would fit in this show. I knew you would fit in this crowd.
Yeah.
And they were like, we're very diverse. Our whole team is women. Diversity. And that was their marketing instead of like, telling something about the story, but the story itself was also really generic. Like magical girl school.
There's no conflict. They think if they draw it in an anime style, they think that'll sell by itself, but the content, there's no conflict at all. And
man.
Really what we call soy over here.
Soy?
Yes.
What, does that stand for anything?
It's a term for like
soy sauce.
Beta male, like beta, sort of.
Yeah. Because I guess soy has a lot of estrogen in it, so it's making fun of people who are like, it's soft and don't fucking stand up for themselves.
I love how we're
estrogen-based life forms.
Like I remember, like I had an editor, and he was really friendly, but he married his sister married a Swedish guy, I believe. So anyways, he had like that international vibes coming into his place, which is a good thing, because I hate how Japan's so closed. But there's good parts and bad parts to every culture, and he kind of decided to bring on that like censorship shit. Like one day I brought him my short story, and it's a short story, so there's only room for like 2 characters max, like, and then he was like, "Hey, have you ever heard of whatever check sheet?" I can't remember the name. I was like, "What's that?" And he gave me this check sheet, and he was like, you have to check if there's a female, you have to check if there's like a different,
shit.
like,
wait, what?
Yeah, like yeah. And he was like, have you heard of this? And I was like, the fuck out of here with that shit. Like, where'd you get that? And he's like, oh, because like my sister's husband is like from Sweden, and he had this like checklist shit, and I was like,
Sweden needs to not stop.
No, I mean, I don't think it was like.
I mean, it is Sweden though. They're kind of.
I don't think it's like necessarily a Swedish thing, but I think like for like with good intent, my editor was trying to be like more diverse because Japan is super secluded. But I think he just, that can happen. It's like people actually have good intent, but then they don't know what the fuck they're doing, and it's like it can do more harm than good. So I was like, hey man, I appreciate your mind for being like so open, like, but at the same time, we don't need that shit, bro. Like, okay,
I get what you're saying, and like I said, I like that there's more exchange of the mediums. Like, there's American studios making Japanese style stuff or anime style stuff, and like there's like the Japanese market is considering the Western market as a serious customers. Like, they know that they want more Westerners to buy their stuff, but at the same time, I think and maybe this is just my bias, but it really does seem like that, because like every day, on the street, like people in America aren't allowed crazy people on Twitter saying that, well, how many women do you have in your book? Like, do you have this kind of representation? You just want good stories. But that's what people hear overseas. So I remember a story, I mentioned it to you in our chat beforehand, that like the president of Kadokawa, this is kind of like the opposite. Like you said, that the Chainsaw Man creator story was censored, but this was kind of it going in the opposite direction. So I'm not really sure where the general, like the public opinion is in Japan. I'd like to ask you about that. But for people who don't know about the Kadokawa story, is that I think the president of Kadokawa came out and said a while ago, and I don't know the exact Japanese wording, but he said that, well, he's considering he wants artists to self-censor their work to appeal to a Western audience, and because a lot of people in the West want this kind of work and wants like more politically correct work, and there was apparently really bad backlash, and his company actually made him I think it was actually voluntarily, like he was he volunteered his salary, like a couple months salary, as compensation to show that he was sorry, and he came out and apologized. So but there was a lot of backlash to that. So I don't know. On one hand, there are people who are trying to censor creativity, even in Japan. But on the other hand, like, what do you think public opinion actually is?
I think nobody likes that. I mean, there's a small handful of people that want censorship, but I think for the most part, people don't. And I think it's gonna be tread like the same. Not fate, because that's a strong word, but a similar path as the States. Whereas, like, I really love the States because it's all about individualism, and I mean, the ideal is, and I really, really highly appreciate that. And it's like, so one of the things is like you can stick up for yourself, and you can speak for yourself. You have your own opinion, you have your own mind, but at the same time, I think that's reached the point where it's gone too far, where it's like now it's like, okay, what is respect, and does that include do not offend me, because now everybody's fucking offended by everything. It's like it kind of went too far. And the thing is, I feel like it's not like the American people don't know that. It's like they feel it every day. And I think that's a big reason why, even though I hate his ass, Trump got elected. It's like, because you're just not allowed to say shit, and he was one of those people that just openly spoke his mind, and people felt such a big catharsis through that sometimes they mistake that with intelligence, which is unfortunate. But it does show the certain state that it was in, where it's like people desperately needed to have a voice, and everything was being censored right and left. That you can get a dumbass that speaks his mind, and it means that much. And I think Japan is not at that state, but it will come to it, like eventually. Like people, like I never want to be censored. Yeah. I mean, if things keep on going this way, because America sets the standard for everything, because America has the most money. So it's like, but, no, I'm serious. Like, so if Amazon or Apple was like, we need diversity, what do you think's gonna happen? Like, every single country.
That is what they're saying. However,
Well, I mean, like diversity is good. I'm not talking about obviously I'm for diverse. I'm saying the diversity.
Yeah, I think people in the chat, they kind of know the language, and it's not I call it just the mainstream, because it is the mainstream, and it's a small minority in power, and they use terms like diversity, or we just want more women to be represented, but that's not what they actually want. They don't actually just want diversity, because I think American comics have been pretty fucking diverse, like since maybe like not in like the 40s when it was first created, but since like look at the 80s, look at the 90s, like especially American media has always been very diverse. But what they want right now isn't necessarily diversity. It really is just control, and it's quite authoritarian, and it's censorship, and they want to guilt you for. I mean, when you get to the level of, oh well, if you're a writer, well, you're not the right skin color, so you can't write this character. It's the wrong skin color. Like, that's not that's not what we're supposed to be about. That's not what America's about, and
Mhm.
that's not that's a kind of censorship it's not that's completely anti-liberty. So it's not
Right.
actually pushing diversity. It's a lie. And I
It's like
think
the opposite, man.
right, it really is. It really is. It's authoritarianism. And it's again, this is my own bias, but I really think like average people don't want that shit. And I wish that people overseas, especially in Japan, because Japan has so much cultural power, would realize that that's just the mainstream. It's a small, very privileged mainstream, like people, like mainstream as in the people in power, not mainstream as this is the average person, right? That's what the people in power are pushing, but it's not like that's not even what the customer wants. Because honestly, I don't know, there's been a lot of talk about in American comics, what do customers actually buy? Well, they don't give a shit about the political stuff, and they don't.
No,
they just buy whatever's good. Like somebody was mentioning in the chat, Spawn, King Spawn, just like completely murdered everybody in sales. And so, and like people, crazy people on Twitter were going on about how Spawn's like, I don't know, like toxic masculinity or something. And nobody actually gives a shit. The customer doesn't care. They just want good stories and cool. They just want cool books.
Yes.
Three Jokers. We had
don't listen to crazy people on Twitter. Let people be creative. Let people create the stories that they want.
Exactly.
Like really is what people should keep in mind. I hope that Japan, I think Japan has a good chance of not going down that path, because from my impression is Japan is very proud of manga and anime, and it's part of their culture, and they're proud of their culture in general. So I think there's, I don't know, it's like, I hope they can hold on to their creative freedom, because it's scary to think that they would censor themselves just to appease, like, it's a minority of people in the West that really they don't control anything. They don't buy books. They're not that important. Stop listening to them.
It is getting there, but like Japan is lucky and weird in a way where it's like it's a small island, and it's like people only speak Japanese, and it's like 99% just Japanese people. So it doesn't really, it changes, but in like weird ass ways. So it's like always unique, and it could be for better or for worse. Like there's aspects of Japan that, the first half of this convo, I was like, the fuck out of here, because how they treat their people like shit and stuff like that. Like, but it always tends to be unique. Like, so I guess in that aspect, I don't know where this censorship shit is headed, but I think, yeah, they'll come up with their own weird ass answer. Like, we'll come up with our own weird ass answer, and hopefully I don't care if it's right or wrong. I just hope it's interesting, because I think that's what I care about as a manga artist, is if, I try to be I try to give out the right messages and be responsible, because I don't want people influenced by my shit and do stupid shit. But at the same time, I think, at the end of the day, I view myself as an entertainer, because I think that's what manga is all about, entertainment. So as long as it's interesting and fun, I think that comes first and foremost. So I hope Japan stays that way.
Yeah, me too. Clown World said natural diversity is good, but forced diversity bad. Yeah. I think everyone here is all for natural diversity. Like no one has anything against any kind of representation. It's about it's hard to, I don't want to get too into it. It's because it's nuanced. They use like language games, right? But the establishment narrative is, well, they want to force diversity even if it doesn't make sense. And if you don't like it, then you must just hate this group of people. That's not true. And I'm all for natural diversity. That's true.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, yeah, I just said Japan is like only consisted of Japanese people for the most part. So it sucks, like diversity. Like people just don't know how to like treat foreigners right sometimes here, which sucks. And it's like
it is a little weird.
Yeah, it's like literally it's 2021, and like if you're black or something, like or it doesn't matter, if you're a foreigner, it's like sometimes they don't even know how to like treat you, which is like, it's not out of bad intent, mainly ignorance, but it's like, dude, it's like in that aspect, it's like, come on, like you have to take an interest like in the outer world, like more and more. Like you can't just like shell up like that. And like I'm all for diversity, because it's like I just can't stand that shit where a lot of Japanese people think Japan's the only country in the world. But at the same time, the way you go about it, right? Like if I had an argument to make, like, hey, Japan, like open the fuck up because you're not the only world in the country. If I had an argument to make, it's like, how would I go about that? Like, how would I earn the respect? You know, like, so maybe, you know, people naturally like you if you have good things to offer. Like if, you know, if people respect the States here because, you know, for a lot of reasons, the movies are good and whatnot. But point being is, you never gain respect by shoving your agenda down someone's throat. If anything, people will hate you more. Like if I was like, hey, if I was like, hey, Japan, like open up to diversity because we deserve that shit. I don't know why, but we do. Like naturally, they're gonna kick you the fuck out. But if you like actually are like sincere about it and be like, hey, this is what I have to offer, which is what I think how everybody should treat each other. You know, I'm not saying everything's give and take, but I'm saying, you know, respect has to come from somewhere. You don't just fucking demand it out of the blue and like it just doesn't like fall through the sky. You know, it's like, dude, respect me because I'm this or that. It's like, I don't give a shit what you are. If you treat me nice, I'll treat you nice. You know, type deal. So,
yeah,
right.
That's true. That's true, and I think it's a uniquely. And this is me having grown up in Asia. It has, I mean, I love American culture and I chose to come to this country. And there's a lot that I really like about, you know, this is where all the opportunities are. And this is, I love the confidence of the culture. And it is a very open, very accepting culture. I love it here. But like, there's a kind of, it also, there's a part of it that annoys me where it can go too far. It has gone too far. There's a lot of people that they just think they can demand things, or it's like, I deserve respect. I deserve this. I deserve to be treated. Well, it's like, of course, everyone should have basic human rights. Like, duh. But when you're demanding things beyond that, like, yeah, I should be respected. Well, no, I don't think everyone should respect me. I think I should earn that respect. I don't think I should walk down the street and someone should punch me in the face. But like respect, like I don't think I should just put my book out. People should buy it just because of, you know, like I'm a woman or just because I'm Asian. Like I should earn that. And I think that, and it ties into a work ethic that's lacking in America. And I don't think that's healthy. And if it goes on, you know, our media is going to suffer. So I think there could be a balance. We can learn like the kind of respect and work ethic from Japan, and it's also good to hear that Japan is opening up, but it has to be done in the right way.
Right. It's like all about balance. I think Japan and the States are like two extremes, but like if we could kind of like meet middle way, it's like I think the perfect. I mean, yeah, it's like furthermore, what does it do for you as an artist? That's how I feel. That's why I feel like I don't. Some people just aren't sincere. Like they say they want to be good, but it's like, really, do you? Like, for example, if I went to the States, and I don't think it's this easy, but it's just an extreme example. But like, what if all it took for me to sell my shit was to be like, hey, I'm Asian, like, and I'm a minority. Like, well, I guess, but like, how would that improve my craft by any means? Like, let's say like I was a shitty, like I lack in storytelling. And I was having trouble, and like it just wasn't selling. I decided to play that race card if it ever does come down the line, right? and then so it's like suddenly my shit starts selling by like a lot. Like, but what would that have done for me as an artist? It doesn't improve anything. Like, yeah, it made me some cash, but like at the end of the day, I'm still the same person as to realize that my story wasn't good compared to Stanley Kubrick's, you know, whatever, or to One Piece, or to My Hero, or whatever the hell it is. Like, if you really like what you're doing, I think you naturally have like a standard. In, you know, the people who admire, like, they have set your standard, and you kind of want to reach that. And like, being a minority has nothing to fucking. You could play that game all day, and your shit won't get better. Like, seriously, like, I mean. So you do have to earn not respect from other people necessarily, but like from yourself. I feel like you start lying to yourself enough, being like, oh, it's okay because I'm yellow or whatever the fuck it may be. You start actually believing that shit.
Don't you know that's what you have to say here? That just has to be, I'm yellow by my books.
Dude, like
Oh my,
my
God.
sister was watching this.
Welcome to
like,
America.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Where
I
am
don't know the name of the drama, but my sister was
Let me
watching
switch
this.
my icon real quick.
My
Hey,
sister was
Rose.
watching this American drama that took place in like the Victorian age, and then like it takes place in the Victorian age. Randomly, there's a gay Asian in there. I'm like,
Yeah.
why? Why? What the fuck? Like, why is
But
there
you're not supposed to say anything.
a
Yeah,
Asian
it's
in
not
there?
meant to make sense. They just kind of like shove it in there, and then you're supposed to be like, "Oh, okay, I guess."
Yep. You can't
That's-
say anything or get called names.
I don't know if this
Like,
is the same show as that, but there was that British drama where the Queen of England was black.
Yeah,
And like,
Oh no!
Oh,
remember
and
that?
Anne
That's, like,
Boleyn.
yeah.
It's weird because what weirds me out is if they did that to any other culture, you'd be mad. But when it's okay to do it to European history, I'm like, when I point, like, why doesn't anybody point that out? What if you're doing like Chinese history and you made an emperor or a famous
right,
Asian person white?
right.
That's forbidden.
Right.
So that's not real
Right.
equality. We should be. First of all,
It's
like,
not because
history is history, but like that's not real
well, they're
equality.
starting
Yeah.
to go after you guys, the Asians. They're kind of done with us white people. They're going after you guys.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, apparently we're privileged because
Yeah.
we're too successful as a demographic. So
Yes.
you didn't go shove it. Yeah, we built your fucking railroads. Shut the fuck up. Yeah. Oh my god.
Hey, wait, I'm Irish. We built the railroads too.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, no one talks about that, do they? Man.
Dude, I feel like, okay, man, I don't want to get canceled or some shit, but seriously, like,
Well,
is it
that's the
too
thing,
much?
though.
I mean,
Okay, finish.
white people have it hard as well. Come on, man. Like, you're like, if it's like,
Everyone has it hard. Anyone
Everyone
can have
has it
it. It's
hard,
not about the
period.
color of your skin.
that's exactly my point. Like, why is it ever the color of your about? I don't know, man. Like, I mean, obviously, naturally, the types of difficulties you'll face will be uniquely different. You know, like it will vary. Like if you're Asian, it'll be one thing. If you're African American, it'll be another thing. If you're this, it'll be another thing. But come on, bro. Like I feel sad when it's like white people have to just take this fucking jilt all the fucking time. And it's like, you know, I mean, I love comedy, and it's like, damn, and I especially love black comedy. It's like so fucking funny, but it's like all the fucking time, it's like white people get pummeled like shit, and it's like, well, I get it, but I mean,
You know,
there's always
it's-
room for love, isn't it? I mean, come on, man. Like, I want
It's
to hear like a
interesting that
range of
you-
jokes, right?
Right. It's interesting that you notice that even coming from the outside. So I don't know. I feel like we're kind of desensitized to that, and there's something to be said that it's like when ethnicity is a majority in a country, it's like you could take more shots at it, but
Yeah.
I think some
most
people
of-
really seem like, well, it's okay to hate one type of person, but not the
Yeah,
other right now.
Most of
And
this hate is coming from other white people. That's the thing. They're self-hating.
Right.
that too.
Yeah.
Well, most of the people the only people who have told, well, not the only people, but a lot of people who have told me like, oh, you have to use this hashtag, you have to say this thing, otherwise you're a bigot. Like I've been lectured by, crazy people online for just like not saying the right things, and they don't even know my
Right.
history. They don't know where I come from. They don't know like my family history. Is my family has been through
Right.
shit. Okay, but you don't
Right.
know anything about that. They just like, I have a kind of European name, so people
Right.
have a very European name. So they're like, oh yeah, when you should listen to minorities when they're telling you what they think. And I was like, first of all,
Right.
not all minorities think the same way, and I know that because I actually talk to people who think differently from myself, not in a fucking echo chamber. But
Talk
also
for
at the same time, like the vast majority of people who have lectured me about how I should do my art and what I should or shouldn't say have like, and this is nothing against like, white people, but it has been a lot of privileged middle class white people. And it's like, if you're going to play the race card, you like, who are you to tell me that, it's because it's not about race. Who are you to tell me what to say? It's not actually about like what your background is, just about control. It's about, you have to say my politics, otherwise I'll call you names. That's what it is.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
like people, I don't, people are individuals, and I thought that's what America was built upon, and I thought that was what that helped us. That was what helped us shed things like slavery. That's what helped us shed things like like inequality in every way, and it was individualism. Why are we going away from that? Why are we generalizing people as, well, if you're this color, then you should say this thing? I think that's a step backwards, even if it's cloaked in a different, cloak of like, oh, this is the good new thing to do. It's still trying to tell people that you belong to a group, you're not an individual.
Yeah, it's tribalism. It's like putting people in a fucking box all the time.
Doesn't help anyone.
Yeah, and it's like putting such a heavy emphasis on skin color when the whole point is skin color shouldn't matter in the first place, right? Or, it's like,
I thought it didn't, but apparently it does now.
Yeah, apparently it does.
Content of your character, not the color of your skin. Well, fuck that, MLK. YouTube, that's not me saying it. I'm paraphrasing.
Oh no, they're gonna take you down.
Oh yeah, they're going to totally clip that and say that's what I
wanted to show
actually
Kimura
think.
something.
Oh yeah, show more.
Oh fuck
Ooh.
Yeah. Isn't this nice?
Oh wow.
Oh nice.
Yes, Joseph.
It's crazy.
Is that Joseph?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's Joseph. Because Kimura's profile picture is Joseph. So I was like, dude, who's your favorite JoJo character?
Other than Joseph, I would have to say probably Dio.
Yeah, Dio.
Just because he's so fucking nuts. Like, especially when he got up in part 3, he was like digging his finger into his head. And I'm like, holy shit, this guy's crazy. I fucking love him. I really like villains. My favorite anime is Death Note. Like Yagami was right. So I really like villains.
Yeah, I mean, great villains. Yeah, they definitely matter. Like people, like, I mean, I think I remember when
them, though, guys, they've got souls too. And
villain lives matter, everyone.
We can just understand their inner turmoil. I think they would be better characters.
Exactly. That's why Joker is so popular. He's like one of the villains that
totally
actually have
understandable.
character.
It makes sense what he does.
But in a way, I think people do have that crazy side, and they in a
don't
realize it. But.
Right, it makes sense to himself what he does. But
also Monster is a great anime.
Oh yes, Monster. Naoki Urasawa.
I haven't read that one, but I know
that one. It's really good. I read 21st Century Boys first, but
I have a question.
Really, really great.
Why is I guess I'll pronounce this right, Isekai?
Isekai.
Oh, Isekai. Yeah.
Why is that so popular over there? It's the same thing.
Let's talk about that.
It's the same thing all the time.
Because it's a self-insert, and like everybody was raised on video games and MMORPGs in Asia. But that's what I think it is.
Is that so? That means when it's like, the storyline is where the people are real people, and they go into a like a game or something like that, and then the story takes place in the game.
So like is that what Sekai means world or universe. Just putting E in front of it, it literally means like different universe or different world. So all you have to do is put the main character, kill him or whatever the fuck, put him in a different world. He one day wakes up in a different world. That's pretty much Isekai. Like so, and I think a lot of the reoccurring themes are like games or whatever. But and I have a theory. Like I mean, I think this is like it's particularly Japanese, but like, we're so fucking. I mean, it's all about escapism because people are frustrated here. Because again, like going back to the beginning of the show, it's like it's such a collectivist mindset where nobody can express their individuality. Where like people fantasize about that type of shit all the time. I'm guessing. Like I never really had that problem, but it makes fucking sense in my head. And like so. Yeah, people just want to escape this world and go into another one. And I thought about why like high school life. It is like, seriously.
Fascinating.
I've thought about why like a lot of Japanese comics are set in like high school, and it's like probably it's because here, like once you're an adult, like we have a word called shakaijin, which basically means like society person. It means once you graduate school, you're part of a bigger whole called society, and you have an obligation to be part of that whole. And so you're a shakaijin, a society person, and this includes, well, it's just mainly just if you work for a company, you're a shakaijin, and if you don't work for a company, you're not doing your part as a shakaijin. You're not doing shit. So the overall message is once you graduate high school, life is hell, basically. Like, yeah, it's like, you just dedicate your life to working and working. Whereas in the States, it's the opposite. I feel like a lot of the characters are, well, I mean, I don't know in reality, but a lot of the characters are not like teenagers, but like Iron Man, like 40s. Like the main message is, it seems like, there's a life after high school, like you're still an individual pursuing needs. And so I don't know, I just feel like there's always been a big difference. Like characters like Tony Stark, that literally, he's a father. Like there's a lot of like family stuff in the States as well. It's like life is about family, and like I can't really, oh yeah, I remember my point. But anyways, I think there's a more optimistic overview in the West as like what life is after you're an adult compared to here in Japan. And so I think so many people are they just want to escape into a different world. I mean, and that's why these days, especially in Japan, there's like when I'm a 90s kid, so when I grew up, Japan was doing very economically well. So there's a lot of, I grew up with the shonen genre, like Dragon Ball, One Piece, Naruto, where it's all about exploring the external world. It's like you're that one kid, you have a dream, and you want to be the best version of yourself that you can be, and life's all about that. But the economy started to suck, and life wasn't so secure like that. So now we have more of the characters are like Attack on Titan, where it's like the outer world is scary, and it's not always a good ending, but you just have to survive. Like Evangelion is kind of like that as well. And there's a lot of comics like that now, where it's like the outer world is portrayed as something scary that you don't want to get involved with, but you just have to pull through it as well. Like I think that's how people view how life is like these days in Japan.
Interesting. I hadn't thought that it was something tied to the economy, but that does kind of make a lot of sense now that I think about it. It is a lot of manga here. I mean, you see certain themes running through manga, but it is a sort of less of a go-getter and less optimistic vibe nowadays, I think. And even something like Hero Academia, shit gets dark. It's getting really dark.
Oh, does it? I've never read that, to be honest. But,
pretty good.
Yeah.
It is pretty good.
Rini, do you have a running theme sort of like that you can identify in like Fiendish?
Running theme of
like how he's saying like stuff like Attack on Titan is like an overt like thing of like the fear of the outside sort of thing. Because I just recently, not too long ago, because people were they're always asking me like, so what's your book about? What's the general thing? And like I would say, if I had to put a thematic like overtone, like he was saying about like how he kind of deconstructs like most of the school stuff is because everything after that is horrendous. So like that moment is the time is more interesting because it's more open to possibility or something. Like my book is just about people who've made like terrible mistakes that are either trying to like do penance or somehow like fix the wrongs that they did. Like that's what my characters are doing for the most part. It's it almost in a way like and this is going to sound terrible, but whatever, but in their way there's almost kind of like an ecological like save the earth sort of thing in there, because the world my characters live in has been devastated by disaster, and now they're trying to bring life back to that, or some sort of harmony somehow.
No, I like that, and you say that a lot of people be like, "Whoa, you're a tree hugger," but like,
Yeah, exactly. That's why I say, like, I
right,
hesitate
but
saying that.
that's
but
one of my
What?
favorite themes of Miyazaki. So because there are some people are a little like crazy about telling other people like screaming about I'm all about. I like environmentalism. Some people are kind of jerks about it, but like that's one of my favorite things about Miyazaki is preserving nature, and it's almost approaching a way of preserving something more pure, more like close to the earth, and I like that. So that's a good thing. You shouldn't shy
I
away
feel
from
like
mentioning that.
no, definitely. As long as it's like sincere, don't you think? Like you have something to say.
Mhm.
Like
It
if you
is
actually care
sincere.
about, right? If
Yeah.
you care
Yeah,
about
it wasn't,
nature
like I
or the
said,
environment, then you're naturally
yeah.
gonna have
It
something
wasn't
very
something that I put in
interesting to
there
say about it.
intentionally. That's the whole thing.
Mhm.
Right. Well, that's
It's like
good
something
because
that,
it just happened.
like, I noticed it later. I was like, what are these people's motivations? Because everybody's like going, the character's motivation. What is it they need? If they don't need anything, then do you have a story? Because they're supposed to be going from point A to point B, needing
Right,
something, or there's something
right.
that this character wants. What is their motivation? And I was like kind of analyzing things that I'm telling within this thing, and I'm kind of going, well, it's there's an element of like expectation, because like the Goblin Girl is like sort of like this sexualized, sort of slightly on the side of like perfection looking character, but she is like everything she loves is ugly or like just messed up, and it's like, and then at the same time she's like gnarly, like she's like more about like, can I kill it, like can we eat it, like that's her like kind of thought process, whereas like most people would be thinking it would be like, oh, she's a girl, she's gonna want to be like the old fashioned sort of like she's into pretty things and being sweet and petting the kitty. No, like what's the best way to cook kitty and eat kitty? That's what I want to know.
No,
Yeah.
Kitty.
We're gonna try and turn her away from that, but I'm just saying in the beginning, she's a rabid little monster. Because I mean, she's been locked in a cage forever, like her whole life to this point in the storyline. So she's gonna evolve as a character, but like initially, she's very like contrary to like the visuals, I guess. So
Right.
there's a lot of that in there.
That's
I'm
great.
noticing as I'm.
Yeah,
I
I
like
think
that.
that
I like that.
yeah, it's called using your head and being sincere, and like it's very. I mean, seriously,
Look at
it's
me using my big
people don't.
brain.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
dude,
your story
like,
comes from the heart. You really love this
yeah,
project. That's what's
and
important.
like exactly, and plus environment and ecology is important because our environment influences the way we think, like
Turn this
a
into
lot,
an
right?
environment story.
I mean,
Sorry, everyone.
no, but seriously, it's like you can tell when somebody's just saying shit just for the sake of moral superiority, and when someone's saying shit because they actually thought it out and came to a conclusion. It's like, and the good thing about narratives is people can't lie, because at the end of the day, the more you lie, the less entertaining it is, and you're just not gonna read that shit. Like,
Right.
I mean, the more truth that has in it, like people not may be consciously aware of it, but it's what they want because it's what resonates. It's what's actually going on. So it's like they'll naturally drift towards their story if, like, it comes from a sincere place. 'Cause
Right.
I mean,
maybe
that's what I think.
And maybe that will be the difference in Japan, because there's I think the hope there that I see, kind of like I know you're saying it's looming, it's coming, you can see it a little
Right.
bit, is I'm hoping that there's so many readers there, like, because it's a totally different environment than it is here with comics. Like,
Right.
comics here is very like niche. Even people that are watching
Right,
movies and
right,
stuff, they're
right,
not really reading
right.
it. But in Japan, from everything I've seen or been told,
Right.
it's like
Right.
on every street corner. Like it's
Yep.
like the equivalent of people watching YouTube videos. It's just
Exactly.
there. Like it's part of the
Right.
life. And I
Right.
think there'll be more eyes to be inflamed, like going, this is insane. Like, I'm not going to read
Right.
this. So then maybe there'll be
Exactly.
more immediate, like, what is it, point of sale transaction, like, negativity.
That's a good point you make. And one thing I've realized is, I think this is like not just unique to Japan, but everywhere because of the internet. It's like there's no one right answer anymore. It used to be that TV is like the right answer, or that big publisher is the right answer. But now you could go on, you could hop on YouTube, and there's like you can find whatever is more catered to yourself. So now there's like, so the big publishers are losing their power, but at the same time, like a lot of unique stuff is coming out, because like a lot of the like my sense of humor is rather niche, and I used to think it was like not that funny. But the thing is, when you put it out, like there always is like a certain group of people that are like-minded, and there wasn't necessarily a platform for that before, because Jump was the only way to go. But now, like everywhere in the world, like you can put your stuff online, and people will crowdfund you, and people will read your shit. And I think hopefully like that's the way Japan will go. Like, I mean, I don't really see the big publishers holding their power, because everything's digital now, and Japanese comics still don't know what the fuck to do with that, because like everything we do is, I mean, I get it. It's true, because everything we do is calculated as a spread page, and we take paneling very seriously. And so even I calculate, like, let's say, like, if I want to make a point, then this panel will come here, that panel will come there, and it'll get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And then you open the page, and it's like suddenly a 2-spread, 1 panel, and it stops the time, and you're like, whoa. But you can't do the same shit when you're scrolling down, because the timing is different. The space between each frame is different, And I don't know if paneling has is as big a thing when in the West, but it's really big here. Like, it's part of the craft, and like
It is.
and a lot of people don't know what the fuck to do when it's like suddenly you don't have the spread anymore, and people are reading everything online. You can only see one page at a time, and it's like I kind of struggle as that too, because it's like I'm so used to one thing, I don't really know how to translate that into scrolling down. I mean, I can, but like it gets watered down to an extent, because my skill set isn't geared towards that. Like, I think somebody of a younger generation may be able to more natively know instinctively how to pace themselves, and the Koreans are doing very good with that. They're being very creative, and there's this one boxing comic that I read. I think it's called The Boxer simply. I can't really remember, but boy, they know what they're doing with the scroll thing. Like, Jesus Christ, like they're really good at it. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, like you said you wanted Japan to light a fire up under America's ass. Like, I feel the exact same way with Japan. Like, we're so content with the shit we do, and Japan's really bad at change. Like, we're really bad, and like the world, like really, really, really bad. Like, the world is changing, and Japan can't keep up. And when it comes to comics, something I care about, it's like, dude, like you have to take it. You have to take Korea, Taiwan, whatever, more seriously, because like maybe now, yeah, it's still a new medium, so in that way it's it might be immature. I mean, it might not be up to the standards it's used to, but it's just a matter of time before, like, if not even now, they're kind of on the same level. And like, these people know what the fuck to do with the smartphone, and we don't. And it's like, that's
true.
where I don't umbrella it under diversity necessarily. I just umbrella it under wake the fuck up, like, it's like there's a bigger
competition, right?
yeah, right. And so to Dan's point, I think, yeah, like American comics, it's an established cultural thing, and I don't know how it would like open up and the competition would speed up, because right now, yeah, as you said, I feel like the movie industry is picking up the slack for whatever it is, and like, I hope one day that more emphasis will shift towards the comics itself. Right now, unfortunately, I don't really see that, because no matter where it goes, it just seems like it's a medium for the movies. But I think actually there is an optimistic outlook where, as I said, people are just naturally looking for things they like, and I think comics is always going to be there one way or another, and so maybe
Some
you know, yeah, in some form. So I know it sounds cliche, but maybe social media might be a way to get the eyes on the thing, and the more people you have looking at the craft, yes, the more competition
Yeah.
there
Well,
will
that's
be, and
what.
that will.
Mhm. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I did want
No,
to.
no, no.
Yeah, it's like YouTube. That's what YouTube has actually been really good for promoting indie comics. And I guess compared to like the big two, this is still a really small scene. But
Mhm.
like what you were saying with, I don't know, there's so much to say about that because you're right. Social media, I mean, it is also like kind of hell on earth in one way, but
Mhm.
on the other,
Yeah.
in another sense, like there's kind of been a scene on YouTube of people promoting indie comics and like finding things from mostly
Mhm.
Indiegogo, some Kickstarter, and promoting like crowdfunded comics, and that's
Mhm.
actually getting that's a very big, like it's a smaller industry than the big two, but it's getting very
Mhm.
very popular and it's getting more polished every year. There's more and more good stuff coming out and people are breaking away and going completely independent that way, and that's why that really excites me. And what's really great about that is it is print. People want print books,
Mhm.
and I get what I like what you're saying about like Japan has to realize that there's competition in like Korea and
Mhm.
Taiwan. And
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
remember like when I lived in Taiwan for a couple of years, everybody was reading comics on their phones. And like that's not really
Right.
for
Right.
me. And I had the same problem as you. Everyone people were telling me like you should put Fiendish on Webtoon, you should put it online. But I was like,
Mhm.
it's not made for that. Like I
Mhm.
can't just put this
Yeah.
page and I mean I can
Mhm.
redraw it completely and adapt it, but
Mhm.
that's not how the story works. Like I made this
Mhm.
for a print book to have like
Mhm.
panels that like this. You take one of my pages for Fiendish and put it on a phone. It's tiny. It's illegible. Like you have to
Mhm.
think about the medium. Like maybe on a tablet it would work, but
Mhm.
it's I think comics, it's great to have it be digitized, but
Mhm.
holding on to it as a print art form is also very good.
It's also
So
totally different.
it's
It's a
totally
tactile
different.
Yeah.
experience.
It's totally different. I think
Yeah.
there will
It's a
be it'll
different
just be
experience.
different markets. Like in the end, I don't think it'll
Right.
just be like digital will take over, but I think there'll
Right.
be like it'll be like different industries. And I hope people don't just like
Right.
give up on print comics or anything. But
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
having going digital and using webtoons, that makes comics more accessible. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I
Especially with
really
shipping
admire.
prices raising everywhere.
Oh yeah, it's freaking
Mhm.
ridiculous. So like, especially like, oh my god, I'm shipping stuff to the EU right now. But like in Europe, how print comics are treated like it's almost like art form. Is an art form. It's
Right.
like high art,
Right.
and like I
Right.
want that to be something too. So you can have the digital stuff that's easy to access
Right.
and cheap, and then you can have the stuff that's like printed and like this is a treasured book that I'll pass on to my children.
Right.
Like why can't we have both of that?
Yeah.
So,
Right.
but in general, I agree. I want to see comics be seen everywhere because I could be doing a lot of other stuff. I do gaming, I do animation. I could be making a lot more money than I do
Mm.
now, but I fucking love comics. And I think this is a
Right.
fantastic medium. It's not just storyboards for movies. It's not just storyboards for
Mm.
Netflix. It's a beautiful, fantastic medium
Mm.
unto itself. And I love it because manga and just comics in general, especially manga because I was in Taiwan, was there for me in a time where nothing else was. And it helped me through
Yeah.
a lot of shit. And this medium has just always been there for me. And I can see all
True.
the unique things that it can do and the potential that it has for growth. So we just need it to be more accessible to the common person. And that's a challenge we're facing
True.
right now. And you can't rely on the
Word.
companies to do it for you. Sometimes you have to go independent and you have to use the internet and build something from scratch. But maybe it won't work. But I think that's what a lot of people in indies in the West right now are doing, and I have hope for that. So I wish
I just
maybe more creators in Japan could start doing crowdfunded comics. I think that would be really interesting to see.
yeah. Uh, I I just realized that. Um. Well, I just remembered that I think the biggest problem of like American comics is that it is the big two, and because it's the same characters, isn't it? over and over and over and over. As far as I can tell, sorry if I'm wrong, but it just
Nope,
at least it's
you're right.
Superman, Batman, and right. And the hardest part is to create a new character. Like that's the whole thing. Like all we're ever doing is that. In Japan, it's like it's a fast-paced cycle because we're just creating a new story is almost equivalent as to creating a new character, and naturally a lot of characters will fail. So a lot of comics get you publish it and it doesn't work, but there's always this thing that's like we have to make more and more characters, whereas it's the opposite with the big two because they're just clinging on to like 5 characters or whatever, and it's like the new way to make it new is give them a different skin color or some shit like that, right? So it's like I mean the effort is just not put in. Like it doesn't go that easy, and I think indie artists like yourselves are gonna change that because like you guys are making new characters, and I think that if anything is gonna let American comics survive, because that's the only way to do it. You have to put in the work, and creating a new character, an interesting character, is the hardest thing in the world, and it will not always go your way. And you know, sometimes you might even want to fucking cry because you pour everything into it, and it's just not a good character, or people don't empathize with it. But
it's not gonna always work.
Right, but that's the whole point, and that's how much hard work needs to be put in if you want something, you know, if you want the comic industry to live on and flourish. So I think what I just did realize now is like I'm not even like flattering you guys. I'm starting to think that yes, like indie comics, especially in the context of the West, is what is gonna keep the American comics flourishing and surviving, because you guys are probably the only truly creative ones out there. No.
I mean, I wouldn't say that,
get
but
emotional.
You know, I'll take it for the indie scene. It's a lot of creative people here. It's not.
Dude,
I'm new to this scene. I'm not one of the the heavy hitters in here, and to me, I really still feel like manga has a kind of creativity that even I think people in indie comics are striving for that, but manga still is maybe I'm not there's a lot of generic stuff in manga, just here's another school anime, school manga, and there's a lot of generic stuff, but when stuff like Chainsaw Man, the fuck thought of that? Right. It was Attack on Titan. What the fuck thought of that? Why, that wouldn't happen in America. So it's this complete no fucks given about keeping it safe, and I admire that. And I think it's not about which country or which culture, because there's that spirit everywhere.
People,
right. It's
exactly.
It's the way that you can access that kind of work and put your creativity out there. That kind of creativity out there is different in every market, but it'll survive. And I think, I don't know, I'd like to be a little more positive, because we've been talking a lot about censorship and there's nowhere for creatives to go. I think in the end, creative work will survive, and because that's what the audience wants. So comics in America, at least right now, are definitely going through a very big upheaval. I don't know how closely you keep up with it, but there have been some really big shifts. It's not like some people say, well, the big two are going to die, they're going to go out of business. They're not going to go out of business, but a lot of creatives have been leaving the big two and going to some blog platforms. Not all are going to crowdfunding. Some are going to blogging platforms or monthly subscription platforms, and a lot are going to crowdfunding. So there's a huge shift right now, and I don't know how it's going to turn out. I'm a little more optimistic. I'm pretty optimistic about it. But at the end of the day, the audience, and the audience will. It's because the audience supports as well, and they will always go to where there's fun entertainment, because that's what people want. I don't know if that makes any sense, but we're able to do what we're doing here. Chimera had to drop off. I think he's dealing with some printing issues. His book is in print right now, so he's had to. He's getting. I think he's dealing with his editor. So, but what Dan's doing, what I'm doing, this is only possible because of people in the chat. People are backing our books.
Yeah.
it is really because of those people who are willing to take a chance on us and hold us up. And I say that every time because, you know, I wasn't expecting to get any fucking attention for Fiendish when I put it out. Like I set the goal for like 2,500 and now we're almost at 30,000. It's kind of mind blowing.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It's not just, it's because of like the ground level support. Like it's because people told me you have to go to this YouTube channel and you have to start doing a YouTube show and then show people your book and talk to people about your book. Or like people were promoting my book on Twitter and on YouTube, and it wasn't like I didn't pay them. I didn't pay for advertising. It was there's a fan base out there. There are people who are always going to hunger for entertainment, and you know I hope I deliver. I'm going to do my absolute fucking best, and you know if I there's anything that I don't do well, I'll fucking do even better in chapter 2 because I'm in this for the long run. I've told you guys this is like going to be the next 10 years of my life. But like
pages,
nice.
It looks fantastic.
Thank you. But you know there's an audience for it is what I'm saying. There's an audience for it, and I think you know maybe I don't know. It's the audience will be there, and they will be the ones to save us. They'll be the ones to save us.
It always is.
Because no matter, like, yeah. No, continue. I talk too much. Tell me to stop talking.
No.
Oh man, it's good. Like I think, like, yeah. I mean, being aware that the audience are the people supporting you is a very good thing. Like I mean, seriously, because it's like if you aren't aware of that, then it's like who the hell are you drawing it for? Then I mean, and if it's just for yourself, then there's no really real reason to, you know, make it quote unquote better, right? It's just like as long as you're satisfied, right? And I think that's the difference between, at least in my mind, not everybody conceptualizes it this way, but that's why I put a heavy emphasis on the difference between art and entertainment. Art is for yourself. It's a self-expression, which is very good. You know, I like art. I go to museums all the time, but there's no obligation for art to kind of let the audience understand anything. It's either you get it or not. Whereas entertainment, there's kind of like an obligation of communication where it's like, it's for me as much as it is for you. And that's what motivates me to better the craft each time someone doesn't get a certain scene or understand the story. It's like it's just not all about me, you know. It's about just so yeah. I think being aware of your audience's support, because I think it's literally the case for anybody. Too many people forget that. I think that's what entertainment's all about. It's like the acknowledgement of I'm there for you just as much as you're there for me. Whereas what I consider art is it's a beautiful thing, but it's just genuinely just for you. So
right on. Yeah, I think people really like what you're saying right now in the chat. You know, once again, Sam, if you ever do decide to put out your own comic, I really think, yeah, I want to see it because I've known you for a few years now, and like I know you love comics, and it's hard to pay the bills with, but I think if you have an idea and you want to put something out, crowdfunding, I don't know, like in the long run, if it's something that'll I don't think it'll be around forever, but right now, you know, well, or maybe I hope it can, like, this is a business model that can, probably not on the websites right now, but you know, like Indiegogo or Kickstarter won't last forever, but I like this business model a lot, and I think it works well. There's it's once you build trust and you fulfill and you have like you show people that you're accountable, then it's very you have the creative freedom. You have once you earn the trust of the backers with like actually fulfilling books, and then you're free. It's so freeing, and it's so different than like even working for doing books for like Image and stuff. And I've been very happy doing crowdfunding so far, and you know, I think, you know, it's kind of, I've been rewarded very well, and I've been very happy, and I want more people to be like, you should also do crowdfunding books. But I remember what it's like to like feel like I want to put out my own ideas and do comics, but there's nowhere to
Right.
go. This because
Right,
I'm not
right.
famous already, and I tried working for
Right.
Marvel first to like gain a following, but then it didn't really work because a lot of people who started following when I did Marvel expected me to just do Marvel stuff forever. It's like they didn't even put me on stuff that was my style. Like I like horror and action and like ancient fantasy stuff, but they put me on like YA and baby books, and so it was really weird.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't rely on big companies to give you a chance, and
Right.
maybe it's different in Japan, but you should I think you could consider putting
definitely.
out maybe it's different in Japan because you can still like walk into like Kodansha and like
No,
pitch a book.
well, I mean, yeah, but it's the same shit. Kodansha, Shueisha, Akita, wherever the fuck, they have their own agenda, and Jump will tell you to bring specifically Jump. I think one of their most famous words were, "You're bringing me a comic. I don't want a comic. I want Jump." That's what they. I think that's what they told the author of Attack on Titan when he brought in his shit.
Oh,
It's like,
wow!
that's why it's
Did
so
they
famous,
regret
and it's
that?
yeah, dude, it's like the most satisfying shit I heard. Like the Attack on Titan guy, because his art is like fucking shit, right? And he like,
Yeah.
but the story's amazing, and
Yeah.
like, so yeah, right? It's like, so he brings his shit in, and he even like he's a really humble dude. Like I've seen his interviews, like, super humble. He knows his stuff is shit, and I mean his art is shit. So, but anyways, he's just another guy who really dreamt of being on Jump, and like he brought it in. And then the editor was just giving him an attitude, being like, "You're never gonna make it. You're just like a piece of shit." And like, so he brought it to Kodansha. He was like, "Shit, man," and he just brought it to Kodansha, like Shonen Magazine, and then they were like, "Okay, your art sucks, but let's give it a shot." And the rest is history. Except like, the funny thing is, I heard the editor was like, "Okay, your art sucks. Let's give it a shot, but your art sucks too much. So let's take let's take 2 years to practice your art, right?" And he was he's a humble guy, so he was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And then he practices his art for 2 years, and it's still shit. So the editor's like, "You know what?
People just can't
Let's just put it out anyways."
Jesus.
That editor deserves a medal.
Right? Like he just stuck with him, and he was like, what a nice guy. But I heard it's because the editor was a newbie as well, which is like the perfect mix, because the editor is humble as well, right? Like he was like,
perfect storm.
when editors are can be arrogant here, but when like you got two newbies together, it's like, it becomes like a team. You both want to kind of make your mark, and so I think the editor took his chances, and dude, I bet he got promoted the fuck out of after that. And,
yeah.
deserves it, man.
Yep. Sometimes taking a chance is worth it,
Yeah.
And you gotta take risks. That's what, as a creative, you can't play everything safe. If you play things safe and always do what makes everybody happy, then you're just gonna end up with a giant blob that doesn't please anybody. That's not being
just
creative.
curious, is the latest Attack on Titan chapters, do they still look like shit?
You know what?
It ended.
I haven't caught up with the manga, but I think they still. I heard he improved.
A little bit. He did improve a little bit. I didn't read the manga all the way through, but I did see. I mean, somebody just spoiled it for me. They posted the last few pages, so fuck you, whoever did that. But his art did improve a little bit, but not super
it is better.
Definitely better than like the first book.
Like he has his own unique. What ended up being his unique style, I guess. Like, I mean, first it was just like unintelligible to me. Like I couldn't. I didn't know which character was what, but now it's like it has that same Isoyama vibe where it's like it has that grittiness, like, but I like it though. It's like he improved enough that like it's intelligible, but it still has that like kind of weird, he's not that good at drawing, but that gives it his own unique taste type vibe. Like, yeah, I'm looking at the final chapter right now just to see, but yeah, his art is his art now. I think he can say that. Like, it's good shit.
Yeah, he's found a style. So
yeah.
That's good. That's good. I heard, yeah, Vault, One Piece. Oh, not One Piece. One Punch Man and Mob Psycho. The artist is also not super good. I mean, what his name is One, right?
Yeah.
He just called One.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
it started as like an online thing, right? It was a web comic.
Yeah.
It was a
Yep.
web
Yeah.
strip, and it was just like so
Right.
fucking funny and brilliant. But his art was
Yeah.
shit, so he got someone else to
Yeah.
draw it, Murata.
Yep.
Yeah. It
he
was
did
like
Mob Psycho in his style.
Yeah, he
I mean,
did.
I think he had assistants for the backgrounds.
Yeah.
It still looks like shit.
Yeah. I think it fits. It fits the.
Well,
'cause
yeah,
it's so wacky.
Yeah.
Like I remember. Yeah. So what happened was he put out One Punch Man, and it like became such a hit sensation on the internet, which is really rare because it wasn't like. Yeah, it just doesn't happen like that. But he did it, and like it started getting so popular that Murata became a fan, and then I think he offered to want to draw it, and then so it was like one of the first incidents of like how the big company came out and found you and reached out to you, because it's always been the opposite. And so yeah, one kind of set like a big precedent like that, which inspired a lot of people to put the shit out. And now it's happening all the time. Like people use Twitter and put out shit, and like yeah, artists find companies find artists off Twitter all the time. I've been too lazy to learn how to use Twitter. I really should, but yeah.
You should. I think some people have asked for your social media handles. You know, I mean, Twitter is a kind of insufferable sometimes, but if you just like keep it to comics, it's also really good for networking. And
Right.
yeah, there's a lot of people promoting comics, and if you you get into the scene, and especially combine like YouTube with Twitter right now, at least that's a really good way for reaching audiences if you want to go indie.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Yeah, I'm working on my new stuff now, and again, it's been almost 3 years, so it's like I'm kind of rusty, and I've decided to take a lot of time on this because, like again, as mentioned in Japan, like what it means to want to try to pursue a manga career is you have to give up everything because you're dedicating all your time to it and you're not getting paid. And that to be honest, the reason why I stopped this, I started getting panic attacks. Like it gave me so much anxiety because I didn't know where. Yeah, that's why I've been missing in action. I'm sorry about that, Irene. Like, I mean, I noticed your messages, but I just wasn't in the state to reply to nobody. And,
oh no, I'm just glad you're back.
Yeah,
you did go quiet for a while.
Exactly. I've been meaning to apologize, but I just was not in the state.
Don't apologize. You gotta take care of yourself.
Yeah. So, anyways, I decided to take it slow. Like I don't want to pressure myself as like from the because those companies expect you to just be a slave or whatever. But it's like the thing is people can do it, but you have to be. You're like the people who can are like the top 1%, and I just have to bite the bullet and be like, okay, I may not be that one top %, but I still am gonna continue to live. So, right now I found a rather comfortable spot where I kind of am able to make somewhat of a living off commercial storyboarding, and storyboards don't take that much time if they're for commercials, so because you don't need to be like the best artist, and we just pump that out and give that shit to them. And so, anyways, so I have more time now for myself, and like right now, on my free time, I do my own comics, and when I work, and I don't keep up to the pace that I used to, that crazy ass pace, but just taking it slow. So I don't know when it's gonna come out, but when it does, you'll be one of the first to know for sure.
Hell yeah!
You can help me try to do that fundraising or whatever. I mean, the stuff that you're good at, like get me in the game and shit like that.
Well, I think I'm figuring out if I'm good at it, but so far so good.
There'll be a lot of
right?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be here as I like your work. I think
thanks.
People like what you're saying, and I'm always here to support creativity.
Thanks.
Like anybody who's that's what my channel is about. I started out just like putting up drawing videos, but then it once I launched my book, I started talking to other indie creators, and it started to be about promoting books. And it's not just about my book. Of course, I promote my book, Back Fiendish, but it's also about like promoting other stuff. So I have a lot of regulars on here, and if there are people who have indie projects they want to come on, and if it's I haven't turned anyone down yet, and I don't think I will. Maybe if I don't know if something that their style just doesn't fit, maybe. But like I really just I don't want to put too many like holds on that. I just want to promote indie stuff because I think going indie is great because that's competition for the mainstream. Like you said, like these characters that are recycled over and over again, and like anybody who like I know what it's like to have a dream and want to like sounds really cheesy, but I do, and I mean it. It's like you want to tell the story and you don't know where to go and you don't know how to put it out, and I have a sympathy for that. So if I can help people get their work out there and get eyes on their shit, then like fuck yeah. So and there are other people that have bigger channels than me, so when you launch your stuff, like come talk to me and like I'll show you where else to go, and I'm sure people will love, like people in the chat already love what you have to say, and you do good work, so I'm sure you'll be able to find something there.
Yeah, thanks for that. Like I regret not having anything to show, but my portfolio, although it's all in Japanese, there's a small comic section where you can see my past works. You know, they're a bit old, like 3 or 4 years old, so it may not be the best shit, like skill-wise, but both those have won the awards for the different type of magazines, and
nice.
Pretty proud of them. So yeah.
That's
so
awesome.
if you guys ever wanna, I don't think you may not be able to understand it, but just check out the art like that.
Yeah, I have Sam's portfolio. It's linked in the description, so I'm going to see if I can post this again as well. Let me do that.
Is there a Twitter handle there too, or no?
You gotta make a Twitter right now.
I have a Instagram. Hold on, I think
Instagram's good too.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna link your Instagram again. I found it. It is Tatsumi Kyo.
You found it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here, I'll post in the chat one more time. I have a dream. I know. It sounds cheesy, but like it's true though. And a lot of people have dreams, and you shouldn't be afraid of saying that and going for it. No.
Exactly.
As cynical and sarcastic as I am, there is still a little bit of like a tiny seed of positivity and hope in me, and that's still here, and I will hold on to it for the sake of comics. For comics. Okay. Here, Tatsumi's Instagram. Tatsumi Kyo. There you go. And I mean Twitter, I don't know. Like Twitter is okay, but honestly it's also kind of distracting, so you don't need to. Yeah, whatever. Just come to YouTube.
Yeah. I have Twitter, but I can't even remember the handle name. That's how often I use it, which is never. Like,
okay, good. Probably good for your sanity. Smart.
I enjoy Twitter more than I do Facebook. I used to use Facebook, and like now, like I cringe even having to go on there.
Yeah,
it's like,
I hate
Facebook,
man.
But
all I think is fucking
I enjoy Twitter a lot though. Like I talk to so many people on there, and like I never see any really don't see anything annoying on there, which is great.
Yeah, I mean, I also don't like try to. I just post art and I just repost art, and if you just do that, then it's really positive. So you got to stay away from people who just are there to argue, and it's like that's a waste of time. I have drawing to do. I have to work. I'm not gonna deal with people that are just like they just have nothing better to do with their day. Yeah, it is good if you keep it to like just art and promoting art stuff. So here's Sam's Instagram if you haven't seen it yet, and there's his website which is linked in the description. So yeah, man, I can't wait for you to join our legions. That's the reason you're on here. This is great. You must be a new convert.
Bring them into us, Irene. Bring them to us.
Come to us. Yes.
Come, friend. Join the forces.
Yes.
Damn. I'm down for whatever, man. Damn, I ain't like Anakin. You don't gotta cut off my legs, man. I'm down.
Cool. Awesome. Well, Let's see. Twitter. Let's see what the chat is saying. It's evil. Twitter, I assume. Yeah, Twitter is. Twitter is kind of evil. I mean, there are spots of hope in it, and you have to gravitate towards those little spots of hope. That's what.
Bright,
Everybody
shining
says.
lights.
Everybody says I have a dream. Nobody says I have a nightmare. You know what? Maybe I should start
True
saying that
that.
because, yeah, I do. It is horror. And going back to what Dan asked me earlier, I never actually answered the fucking question. So
Oh, really?
for Fiendish, there is a running theme, and it's about the. Let me actually pull up the project. Why not? I have the tab open. It's about, I think, the search for truth and the importance of facing the truth.
Awesome.
And thank you. You're so positive. But I think because at first it's a story about vengeance, and vengeance is a big theme on it. But it's not just that, because that's why I am so dedicated to this project, because I realized that what's personal about it for me is this idea of truth being so important. And I realized that's something that I've always held in high regard. So it probably isn't that obvious in chapter 1, and I'd love to hear people's feedback on if that comes through in chapter 1. But that is, like, honestly the strongest running thing, beyond vengeance, beyond the action, beyond, like, you know, all the other themes that come up, and I can't spoil too much. The story gets really crazy, but, like, it's that's the reason Casimir sets out on his journey to find out where the demons come from is because he wants to find the truth. Where did these demons come from? What really happened to his hometown? And then there's layers and layers of reveal to it. Okay, this is what we thought happened, but this is what actually happens. And this is what we thought. This is who we thought was at fault, but then wait, there's another layer to the truth, and this is someone else is actually at fault. And you have to question who really is responsible for what's going on, if that means. And I can't use any names because spoilers, but that's the way I structured the story. Spoilers. I mean, a little, but, like, you know, and I don't know if that's, like, really a good explanation, but that's why I'm so excited about this story. It's not just I get to draw monsters and fantasy and adventure, which is true, and, like, gory stuff, which I never got to draw at Marvel, and I finally, like, actually drawing my style. I'm so happy, but it's because of the theme, and I really like that theme. I think that's important to me, to face the truth, even if it's hard. And that's another thing. It's not just about because facing the truth isn't easy. And sometimes you realize, what if I'm at fault for what's going on? And what if the person I thought was responsible isn't responsible? What if I have to change everything that I thought was right? And I realized that everything I've dedicated myself to was wrong. What happens when that's the question that you're faced with? So that's the real core of Fiendish, and hopefully it comes through. Yeah.
Wait, so. I know. Can I buy Fiendish online, or like would I? Is it downloadable, or is it like? Does it come to? Basically, can I read it from Japan?
Oh,
it's like a pre-order.
Yeah, it's a crowdfund. I'm using crowdfunding right now, and the campaign is actually still active. Yes, it's Indiegogo. You can still back it after the initial campaign, but it is a physical book. I don't have a digital version yet because it's
okay.
It's right. You can buy it, but, like, shipping to Japan is a little crazy. But maybe we can work something out. Yeah, I do ship everywher, and you can order it on Indiegogo if you like.
Okay. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Of course, I want a copy. So
awesome!
Wondering
Thank
how
you
I'd be able to read it.
Thank you. Well, I am also actually looking to another update for Fiendish. I'm looking to do a Japanese translation, and I don't know. So I found someone, and I don't know how well, like, where exactly I would put it yet, but I have found someone that has translated comics before, has translated manga. So that is a possibility, because I think that indie comics, we do have to, it's great that we have YouTube and Twitter to promote ourselves, but we had to break out of that. And the way to do that is, you can go on different platforms. A lot of people are trying Instagram or, like, TikTok for some reason. I don't understand how you got to promote your comics on TikTok, but sure, all the young ones are using that. But, like, I honestly think going international is one way for indie comics to flourish. So I would like to do that.
For sure.
Yeah.
Can't
I like
wait.
to. I've always wanted to do a Chinese version of my book. So it's like, well, I found a Japanese translator, and half my team, by the way, my colorist and my like the people that most of the people that are helping me on Phoenix, it's like they're all in South America. So it's like I'm gonna do a Spanish version eventually as well.
Yeah.
Oh damn, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yay! I'm glad you think so. So yeah. But anyways, that's just not to go on too long about my project because everybody here has already seen it. But
Oh.
yeah, it's I'm very glad for the support everyone has given it, and thank you. I will do my best. I will not disappoint. I will not disappoint. Ah! Okay.
Dude, that's amazing, dude. 28,000. Damn. $20,000, man.
A little
Sorry,
more
like-
than I expected. It's a little more than I expected, but you know, it's not like I'm making that money. By the way, like it's mostly printing and production, and oh my gosh, that stuff is really, really expensive.
Still, man.
Yeah.
Dude.
Well, it's impressive for
Like-
a first timer.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank
Wow.
you. I mean, I'm glad I wasn't. I hope that is something that carries over to like chapter 2. You know, I'm like worried about will people like it? What if people don't like it? But yeah, you know, hopefully, yeah, I think it's really good. So I hope people like it, and yeah, I'm working on chapter 2 right now, so I hope people will come back for chapter 2. I'm really excited. Yay! Yay!
Nice.
Okay, let's see. I've seen the video. Oh, there is it's my intro. So maybe I can play it again at the end. Yeah, I'm not gonna play it right now. I can play it again at the end because I want to get to promoting like other people's stuff as well, because like everybody has my shit. But let me see. Vault. Really disappointing when she started simping for a demon standee. Listen. Okay, if you guys haven't seen, this just came in. Look. My little demon standee.
Oh, damn.
It's not focusing. Oh, look, it's so cute, isn't it?
Kawaii.
There you go. That's a. Thank you. It's so kawaii.
Did you just say kawaii? Are you serious?
Yeah.
It is though. It's so adorable. So it's a supplemental item that you can buy along with the comic, and I love it. It's like really sturdy too. So I'm gonna make some of these for every book of Phoenix. Just as I like little figurines, but this is also, I don't know, this is something that's more, you can like ship it with comics, and I really like that. You can like ship it flat, and it's like a little figurine, and you can, it's like permanent, like an item that you can keep with you. It's like a little thing you can put on your shelf. So I really like it.
Dude.
So these came in, so you guys can order that now. Yeah.
You know what? Shit. Man.
I hope so.
I'm happy for you. This seems
Thank
so
you.
fun as well. Like,
it is fucking fun. Let me pull up Goblin
like,
Girl. It can't just be all about my shit. Come on.
Girlfriend.
Goblin girlfriends. Wait till you see Dan's work, man. Let's see. Come on, search bar. Why didn't I have this pulled up? I'm a terrible host, everybody. What am I doing? I'm a complete failure. All right. There you go. Yep. So this is the sign-up page for Goblin Girl is still on. So this is what it'll finally look like.
nice.
See, I promise boost friend back Goblin Girl's friend. Yeah.
Yes, friend. If you go further down, there's like an action shot where it shows you more like the stuff.
Oh, there you go. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this book looks, I mean, I think the sign-up page doesn't do it justice. Is you have like, the sign-up page only lets you post like 4 images. Like, but look at the pages that you're drawing, Dan. They're amazing, and I don't know how you do them in like a couple of hours. It's infuriating, but show some more of those pages, dude.
Hold on, I got high-res ones here on my laptop.
Oh, yes.
Give me a
Dude, I love how you're doing everything traditionally as well, man. I can't be fucked.
Yeah, I mean, them.
What? Don't hate me.
Why would anyone hate? No, I don't. Stop lying about.
Okay.
It's not lying.
I admire Dan's skill because I'm not a particularly fast artist.
But you're angry about it though.
Well, yeah, but I'm angry about everything. You know my like
That's
natural
true.
state. I'm fucking Bruce Banner over here.
Yeah.
Let's draw faster.
I'm surprised you actually knew who Bruce Banner was.
I know. Okay, I'm not that
All right.
out of the loop. Okay. Anyways.
Have it up.
Ooh, look. Yes. That's the cover, right?
That's the cover image. Yeah, it's going to be more elements. It's going to be kind of like an insert in the middle of the page of the cover.
I like her
She's
smile.
not called boob
Very
tag for
nice.
nothing.
It's the last
Yeah.
thing
Yo,
I noticed, so.
I like how you embrace the boob.
So
Sweet,
through here.
sweet.
so this is some of the
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
Speaking of boobs, I get sad when like shit gets censored when it goes there.
Yep.
Like, you know, like from the shonen, like I don't know, like One Piece, you know, Nami, it always has like big boobs, but like when it goes to America, like there's like something covering it.
Oh,
Like,
oh, really? They censor Nami too? I know. What I
They
know about
censor
is.
a lot of stuff. Right?
Oh yeah, that's true. My Hero Academia, they censor Momoko. She's like really
Really?
voluptuous, but
Yeah.
people, or I don't know if
Yeah.
they censor it, but people like
No.
freak out
Yeah.
about it. And it's like, oh, screw you. I
Like,
don't know.
yeah.
I don't know. It's just boobs,
It's just boobs, but they're
right?
nice, man.
How many,
What do you say?
Thank you. I don't
Dan,
get it. I can
Yeah.
appreciate boobs. What's
how
wrong
many-
with that?
how many pages is this? Is this going to be like 100 and
I
some
was-
change?
Well, it was originally 100, but
Yep.
the problem is to pay a colorist to do 100 pages is a lot of money, and I think it's gonna be like modestly all right. Like I'm hoping I can get to I'm hoping and praying I can get to 10, because then I
I
can
think
pay
you
the
will.
colorist and everything. But to get to where I'd
Oh,
have
you
to get
will.
to like break even and pay the colorist and give myself nothing other than the joy that people are enjoying my book, which I'm fine with that, especially with the first one, just to get people to see my stuff. I just was like I couldn't justify doing a 100-page book. It was just like too expensive. So what I decided to do was 50, and then when I did 50, I went, maybe I can do 54, and then like I
You
went,
madman.
and then I went, but I need 4 more pages to pad this out a little better. And so now I'm like I think I'm at like 58 pages. So
Okay.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
or
Okay.
like
That's
58
still.
or 60, somewhere in there.
Just
So-
go on Raging Golden Eagle, and this will get to 10K easily.
Yeah,
Hey.
you're gonna do 10K. You
Seemed
will
to
be
like it
fine.
when I was on there, so
Yeah.
Yeah, you will definitely get to 10K. And I think
Oh, wow.
breaking up into
there we go.
about.
There we go. There's
Don't
a
spoil it.
Oh
book.
yeah, how the fuck are you not gonna get 10K? This should be doing
Okay.
at least like 30.
You're
It's
spoiling the
fine.
whole book. Yeah.
No, show me more. Show
Oh
me
my
more.
God. Looks
There you
fucking
go.
amazing, dude.
I love that monster. That
You like that one?
texture. I like the texture on that. Yeah,
I
that
am.
monster.
the high res
Yeah,
is
man.
looking really good on this stuff. Like when it's like one of those things
Yeah.
like I see it big in front of me and I'm like, this looks pretty good, and then I scan it in and I'm looking at some of this stuff like at like comic book size, and I'm like, wow, this guy he's doing something right here, and I'm like, I just got to keep him on the payroll.
Nice. That's a good feeling. Yeah,
Yeah.
because sometimes it doesn't work that way, and you're like,
It's true.
oh, I wasted my money.
Yeah,
That's fantastic, man. Yes,
right there.
Goblin Girl, sign up now. When
Yes,
when are
please,
you going
friend.
to launch the campaign?
I'm gonna close this out. I'm hoping like the first or second week of September. It's my
Okay.
plan.
Ooh,
Soon.
that's pretty soon.
Right? Yeah, but right now, like it's looking sketchy because I picked a colorist that I wanted to work with, and he is like taking on so much work. I don't think he's going to be able to like have time to like do it, because my book will be done when I do the launch thing. I'm not even going to have any pages left to draw. I mean, at that point, I'll be lettering it and then like fine tuning some layout elements of like interior credits page and stuff like that. But that on my end, it'll just be about like, okay, what kind of stickers can I make? Like like the ancillary stuff that's kind of just extra. But the book itself will be done, and I'll just be like, I need somebody to color this for me. But
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know. I might be using somebody else on this project and have to use that other colorist on something else, which won't be the end of the world, because the other guy, I wanted him, and then it was just like, then all of a sudden the other colorist like popped back in, and I was like, okay, I'll stay here. And then now he's like kind of popped away again, and I'm like, okay, I need to just do this, because I can't wait until like time goes by to whatever happens with it. So
Yeah.
How much does it cost to hire a colorist? Just out of curiosity.
Depends on the colorist. The guy that I want is
Mhm.
like $200 a page.
Damn.
Oh my
200
word,
a
that's a
page.
lot
Holy
though.
shit. That's a
Yeah.
lot of money, bro.
I know a guy that will do a good job for.
Oh,
less than
I
that.
know a guy that'll do an amazing job because he's already colored a bunch of my stuff, and I have a
Mhm.
very close working relationship with him. So like I can like sit with him and like go like maybe make this a little more of that, this a little more of this, you know, like to fine tune the look of it. So because I know there's certain things like with this sequence, this weird astral sequence I'm doing, I know there's all kinds of like visual trickery that I want to do with that, and I know he'll hit it for me because I can kind of sit with him and walk him through like the way I see it in my head. And he's pretty close. Like when he does stuff, I'm like, yes, this is exactly what I saw. Like perfect, you know. So it's just occasionally there's like little tweaks, but he's really good. That's Billy Basco. I'll just say that out loud, Billy Basco.
Oh hell yeah.
Colors.
Yeah, Billy's good people.
Yeah.
By
He's
the
colored
way,
a couple of beautiful pieces for me.
so I just wanted to say, manga assistants make $8 an hour.
How much?
Hey,
$8 an hour. Or
Grief!
Okay, no wonder you had to leave. Okay, cool.
Exactly. That's
can you even survive
That's
on
what
that
I'm-
in Japan?
I don't
no.
think so.
That's what I
If
mean
you
by
rent, if you rent in like a shitty apartment and
That's
just ate
horrendous.
ramen for every day.
yeah, that's what I mean when they expect you to dedicate your life and soul. I mean,
Yes,
Yeah.
you have to
how-
sacrifice.
like,
For our
Yeah.
entertainment over here in the West, you have to sacrifice. Alright.
Man.
200 a page ain't bad for coloring.
Yeah, well, he's top tier. I mean, that guy's.
Yeah.
It's because he's worked on Marvel projects. He's worked for like lots of like AAA books. I would say most colorists I would think are like between like I want to say they're between like 70 to 100 usually
Mhm.
is what I've seen.
I see.
Yeah,
But
probably.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, it depends.
at the end of the day, they I think they like it's a tough because like this reminds me of exactly how it is for manga artists. It's like when the artist is the one paying, not the publisher. It's like, I believe the colorist deserves every penny because like
Yes.
200 a page, like it might, you don't know how long it takes them, and 200 actually might not be, that much if they're really skilled. But at the same time, when you're the artist and you don't have the money, it's like, what can you do? And and I think this is great how like crowdfunding actually solves that problem. It's like, you're giving the artist what they deserve, and plus you're getting the support you need.
Yeah,
That's really nice because
Definitely.
it's just when you start out. I would say when you start out in this crowdfunding thing, though, like the problem like I'm having is I have no idea what the audience is going to be or what it's going to do.
Right.
Like Irene,
right.
I believe she started hers out intending for it to just be black and white, and then did the
Right.
stretch goal for color. Is that correct? Or
Oh yeah. By the way, I have some colors to show, so let me just show
oh my
that.
gosh!
Since we're
We
talking
should.
about colors. There you go.
Yes.
Hey, look, color is finally in.
Look at that.
So
Oh shit!
so Nick's been doing a lot of the book is colored. I think he's up to over half now, but I've been holding off on it just because like I was waiting for edits and like I wanted to show people the colors like closer to fulfillment, just to kind of I don't know. I thought that would be like more appropriate or show people like it's I don't know what I was thinking, but mostly I just want to wait for some edits to come in. But also he hasn't been sending me that many pages. Okay, like my folder with the colors, it's like, where are the colors? He's like, I have them, and he shows me on work stream, so it's like, just give them to me so I can show people.
Amazing.
So anyways, here the colors for Fiendish are coming in, and they look fantastic. Nick does really good work.
Look at the texture, man.
That shot right there, that one above the town, I've always loved that page, but with the color, it's goddamn delicious.
Yeah, that's much better.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
much better. Okay,
Well,
thank
I mean,
you.
in color.
Thank
color.
you.
I'm used to Western comics. So I'm used to color.
It's
don't take it
okay.
personally.
You
Don't take it
don't need
personally.
my work. I'm
Well, I
kidding.
ordered
No,
both.
It is amazing.
really
though.
adds
I've
a
seen it in
lot,
black
though.
and white, and
Yeah.
the color does do it justice. Like a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Damn. Like
He said the exact
seriously.
same thing I did, but you yelled at me.
yeah, fuck Irene's work, right? No, I riff on you, but I understand what you mean because I grew up with manga, and I don't think like, oh, you don't have to have color in comics, but it can add so much because colorists are. I'm big on promoting colorists. A lot of colorists are not. People are like, oh, should colorists deserve cover credit? Of fucking absolutely,
Yes.
Of course they should, because a good colorist tells a story with their colors, and they will boost like what you've done with pencils and
Whoa.
inks, and like they will like the mood they create, and when you when you
That
tell us
page with the gate is so. Oh my god!
Dude, that's like a painting, bro. Like
Oh, I need to screen grab this and send it to Billy. Be like, Billy, this is what I
I'm
need.
really happy
You-
how it's turning out. It's lovely.
Crap,
Too bad Nick can't show up. He's usually on the shows, but I think he's actually too busy because he's coloring my book. So
No,
that's
there
good.
you're,
He's like, I'm too busy today. I
you got a
have
good
deadlines.
colorist, man.
My
Look at
deadline?
that.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah. Well, I went to
Whoa.
art school with him. We went to school together, and that's why I hired him. Is like I know he's good. So, and also he's a good friend of mine. Him and AC, his wife, and they were kind of there with me from the inception of this project. So AC's like kind of I run all my my scripts by her, and she's working on something. We kind of co-edit our stuff, and Nick's a great colorist. So I was like, well, you like monsters? My comics coming out, I want to color it. And it just I'm very lucky it worked out for me. I have friends that I knew I could trust with doing colors. It doesn't always work out. Like you have to find good people for a team, right? But I'm very lucky. I'm very grateful, and I did. And Nick's doing fantastic fucking work here. Here's one more. Oh, that's actually chapter 2. Check that out! Yay! So
$200 colorist work for sure.
don't tell him that because I'm not paying him that.
I'm not trying to tell him. I'm just saying, like that's the type of quality work you expect to see when you pay somebody that type of money. That's
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean,
definitely.
that definitely takes a lot of time. Like, yeah,
Well-
I mean, I've only been in manga, so I have no idea how much like effort it would potentially take to color a page. But I mean, I do illustration though, and it takes a lot of time to color. That's what I know for sure. So.
Colors
Man.
actually, what takes a long time is flatting. I know Nick's actually pretty fast. And by the way, I'm not saying I wouldn't pay him if I can afford $200. I literally can't. I can't fucking afford
Dude,
that.
look at
That
that.
page looks a lot.
that
better
page
in
too.
color.
Jesus.
Holy shit.
Thanks, Chimera.
Dude.
Oh my god.
That's a compliment. It works.
Okay.
It's a compliment, dude. You're
The
not.
lighting. I feel like we're in the trees, like looking out. Man, it's so good. Like
Dude.
holy cow.
So someone was asking, how'd you do the overhead shot in page 2 or something?
Let me see.
The village.
I draw my book now.
Dungeon map with no dungeon. I do have an overhead map of the town, so I can keep it consistent because let's see. What this shot, and where was that other? Did I close it? I'm stupid. That other page. Oh, here we go. This page, like the town layout is consistent. So I had to make sure that all these things matched up, and also with this page as well. So yeah, I do have, it's not like very detailed. It's just chicken scratch, honestly. It's nothing I would show, but yeah, I do try to keep like everything, the buildings mostly in the same place because I'm a little crazy like that.
Yes.
Let's see.
Sometimes it's important.
Yeah.
Geographic.
So
Storytelling.
yeah, and you guys know I'm big on the world building, and sometimes I go a little overboard because I built a language and shit, and I have a world map, but I don't know. I don't think the world map is that crazy. Maybe the language stuff is crazy, but I don't know. I'm also I love languages, and I think
Lover of languages.
I am. I love
Should
our
marry a
languages.
language.
So I Figure tries to kill this ladder, but I think there's some people like to create they create by, you know, sort of they put out ideas, and they're like idea factories. That's how they like to approach their creative process and their creative careers, and that's cool. That's what you want to do. You want to, you know, have a one quick idea, and you do a 6-issue pitch, and you do like one pitch, and you just pump out pitches, right? But like I think I like to approach things from a different way. I think if I'm not hyper invested in what I do, and it's like, you know, people say you shouldn't put all your eggs in one basket. I don't think I'm doing that, because I have other stuff I can fall back on doing.
Nice
but
basket.
but I think if I don't give a shit about my comic, if I'm not like putting just insane amount of work, and just not just work, but like I have to put my soul into it. I have to actually care. And like the things I'm doing here, I really like doing. I like building the language. Like I get carried away with it. I like writing the story. I like doing all the detailed work and the architecture. And if I don't care, then why would the reader care? You know? And I think there's too much entertainment now where it's formulaic, and this is made to be a quick Netflix pitch, and then and you wonder why these things are, you know, it makes some money and then it drops off. This isn't stuff that will be read or watched 100 years from now. And I want to create something that maybe I won't succeed, but damned if I won't try. I want to create something that maybe 50 years from now people will still be reading, or longer, hopefully.
Somebody cares about quality.
Yeah, you know, I do. I want to create quality stuff, and it's like you can just say that, and it's kind of pointless to just say that, because like I do quality stuff. I want to do good work.
But that's
but
basically
it's like
what you're saying is you care about the quality of what it is you're doing. It's not just
and
I don't like some quick thing to see if it catches. If it doesn't, then I move on to the next thing.
Yeah, and I don't like saying that, because it sounds like I'm just talking instead of doing the work. And what's important is actually doing the fucking work, right? Because you can talk all day, but if you don't deliver, then it doesn't matter. But anyways,
there it is, friends,
so
to the right of your screen, delivery.
Delivery. Let's see. Didn't Rungo said, do I have a created language that's written only? Do you have phonetically structured as well? Yeah, it is. It's a whole language. So if you go on the website, go to Inart's language. This is the alphabet system. This is the phonetic alphabet, but it's not like just the English alphabet, because as you can see, like all a, sh, these sounds are one character. And if you scroll down, people haven't been scrolling down. This is the dictionary for the language. So I have this like, I wasn't gonna release this that early, but I figured why the fuck not? Because people liked it. Like it just, I was like, oh, I'm revealing too much about the world building, but like. I think it turned out to be a big draw for people. People were like, ooh, I want to try to learn to say something in your language. So cool. I had this spreadsheet, so I just put it out, and this is what I have so far. I think I'm at like probably 400 words or so, which is not that much, but it's enough to write like most basic conversations. So I figured I didn't just do this for no fucking reason. I figured if I'm doing a fantasy world, then I want the language, like I can't just put English as the fantasy language, right? I want it to be completely fucking immersive, and I want this to be an immersive world that it feels like this is complete fantasy. So this language is a clerical language of Arvos, the continent where the story starts, and it's probably going to be the most expansive one. There are a few other languages that come into play, but I don't think I'm going to go this crazy on them. But you know, it's also because writing is actually important to my story, because the characters they end up doing, it's not just like they go and, you know, there's a lot of action. They go on a quest to fight demons, and they go searching for where these demons came from. But eventually part of the story is about looking through records and research, and there will be some writing in there, and you don't have to like understand like what's written in the comic, but like I just like symbols and iconography, and like having the writing parts be in an actual in-world language was important to me. So that's why I spent so much time on it. It's you know, hopefully it's, I don't know if it like makes it, hopefully it makes it a better experience for the reader. But I feel like it's worth it. It's worth it if that means that my world could seem more real, right? So there you go. Yeah, you can go on fiendishcomic.com. I'm gonna link it right now.
You know what that means, friend? Go back it now. Go back it twice. Back it black and white and in color, friend.
Sam's looking at me like, you're crazy. You've just been silent for like 10 minutes.
Only on Indiegogo.
No,
I mean, how is
I'm
anybody
not
supposed to
listening.
follow up?
Ryan
like,
Blue
their own-
Thunder. Saying Huska. Yes, we figured out. So see, like that's how Ryan Blue Thunder figured out how to say his name.
How's anybody supposed to follow up? Like, you made your own language, you have world building. Like, how's anybody supposed to follow that up? They just look like an asshole because you're 10
Boobs,
times more
friend.
passionate. Well, yeah,
Boobs.
boobs will help, but yeah.
Oh yeah, boobs. I mean, it's
Only
not
way I
like
can fight, friend.
it's not like you have to build a whole fantasy language for your work to be something that's worth investing
I
in,
know,
right?
I know.
Yeah,
Except
it's.
the person with
But
their
I'm
own-
glad people like it. But it's definitely not like there are different ways where people's passion for their work shows through. And by the way, chat, I did finally figure out how to say something in the language. So, Bustalia Lusa in Kafsa Urgastish. There you go. I
Okay.
finally figured out how to say something. That means, please read my comic, Fiendish.
I mean, we kind of have to just trust you at face value with that.
It does mean that. I have the dictionary. So, anyways. Let's see.
Ship it
Sugar
to
Chris
Japan.
says,
I can read it.
what?
Ship it to Japan. I can
Yeah.
read it too.
I will. I ship all over the world. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
nice.
worldwide shipping. It's just
Nice.
international
Costs more.
shipping is kind of a bitch, but yeah,
It is. I know.
it really,
But I'll give you
especially
that.
recently.
Well, you can
I'll
make
give
it.
you the green.
You can make it digital tier.
I would like to. I'm considering for book 2, but then maybe I'm thinking too much, and like who the fuck will want to pirate my work because I'm nobody. But
Oh my
it's I am a little worried about if you make a PDF, it's easy to rip off and stuff.
Huh.
Yeah, but it's so maybe the cost, maybe the rewards will outweigh the risk, right? So yeah, I am considering
it's
that
tough one,
for
isn't
book
it?
2.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about a balance because I know especially a lot of customers in Europe have been asking for a digital tier because damn if shipping isn't expensive over there. Right. Yeah, everyone. So the colors are coming in for Fiendish. These are some of Nick's colors that he sent me. I will show more when they come in. I can't wait to see them. And the Grayscale book is literally in print right now. Well, the interior has been printed, but the cover is they're doing the UV on it because I did spot gloss UV on the title, and they're doing the UV I think today or tomorrow, and then they're going to be binding it Thursday and Friday, and I should have it sometime next week. So hell yeah, still going to be fulfilling in August. Not the color ones, but the Grayscale ones. So I can't wait.
Still counts.
Yeah. I'm excited. So,
I mean, there's a
Alright.
guy called Professor Murph, and he's shipping. He did 6 issues, so he's shipping the first 3 issues first, and then he's going to wrap up issues 4 to 6, and then ship them separately.
right. Yeah, it's just I wanted to fulfill everything together, but then again, when I launched the book and I set an August fulfillment, I wasn't gonna do color. I wasn't gonna do all these stretch goals. So everything else, by the way, is the stickers are in, the Demon Sandies are in, the trading cards. Trading cards are also in. So these will go to all backers, everybody, and the
Oh shit.
I have Pathfinder stats on the back. I'm not gonna zoom in too much because then that's spoilers.
Damn.
But
Yeah, that's actually pretty
Dude,
common.
you need
there you go.
trading
Yeah.
cards.
Yeah,
Holy
yeah,
shit.
it's a pretty common thing for. There's a lot of supplemental items that indie comics. If you do put out your own comic and you come into indie comics, and you'll kind of figure out there's a lot of supplemental items that people like to produce, and trading
Oh,
cards
shit.
is a big thing. So some people even go crazy and do 3D printed figures. The images aren't showing up, but it's in. If you want to see these, it's an update on the campaign page for Fiendish. So.
Damn.
Here's E-Skull. So I have these are my 3 major characters in chapter 1. Fuck my camera, guys. And also the monster. So I have Pathfinder stats in the back. And so if you want to play these characters in D&D or Pathfinder, you can use these and plug them into your character sheets. And the monster is right here. So if you want to torture your players and have them suffer for a session, use this. Yeah. So back Fiendish, torture your D&D players.
Damn.
Yeah. So
Wow.
it's coming along, and I'm very grateful. Thank you, everyone. Truly.
That's amazing. Seriously.
Mhm.
You got me really thinking about this shit. Like, it just seems so fun, you know? Like, seriously.
It
more
is
than
fun.
anything.
It is fun,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah. You know, not to like strong arm you about it, but I think you really should do some indie comics. I want to see what you create. So that would we'll talk more. We'll talk. Yeah, it'll happen.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
There we go. There. That's a better picture of it. So damn, we're coming up on like 3 hours. So
That's actually pretty standard.
it is
This
pretty
show is
standard.
amazing.
Oh, thank you.
is.
I'm never going to keep like, man. I'm gonna try to not do like 4 fucking hours, but yo,
Come on,
3
girl.
hours is
We could do 12. Come on.
like we have a good conversation. So I
Yeah.
don't want to cut it short. And unless people have to go, like I love doing this. We always have such good talks, and I really liked what we talked about today. It was really nice having Sam on to enlighten us
for having me
about
on.
yeah, to enlighten us about the manga industry. And I think there's a lot of things that I try to keep my finger on the pulse of what's the market in Asia, but I don't know everything, and I don't live there, and I don't speak Japanese, so it was very interesting to hear what you had to say. And I think the chat
Yeah,
really liked
anytime.
you. They liked
Thanks,
what you had to say,
guys.
that like your outlook on stuff. You were
You
dishing out some wisdom. I think you were dishing out some like
Yes,
some
you are what we
truth
call
bombs.
based.
What we call
That
what?
is accurate. That is
You are based.
accurate.
It means wise. It's like the 21st century version of wise.
It is internet speak for wise, and yeah, wise, and I would say, how else would I say it? Like just honest, and you face facts,
Yeah.
and you're realistic about things, and I think people appreciate
Thanks,
that here.
guys.
We need
Yeah.
you to make a manga, then you need to get on Raging Golden Eagle.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Raging Golden Eagle is another channel, much bigger than mine, that does focuses more on manga, and occasionally he'll if your stuff is like manga-ish, he'll promote your stuff. So I went on. He's fantastic. He helped a lot to get my book out there. So yeah, you should definitely go on RGE once your book comes
Dude.
out. So
We'll
yeah.
introduce you to everybody, even Chris,
Great.
who likes to wear red dresses.
Oh man, I can't wait, man. Seriously.
There's Chris right there. Thank you. I'm so glad you could catch it live. And Chris is good people. He's one of the first channels who had me on when I launched Fiendish. So, by the way, sub to Chris's channel if you guys haven't yet. He does fantastic shows, and he also backs like so many books. It's unreal. He backs like he has the pile of books he bags behind him, and it's like this mountain of books. So it's insane. Chris, you're fantastic. You make what we do possible. Ryan Cardinal says Japan crowdfunding will shake up the manga market if it takes off. That would be interesting to see.
Oh, that dude, good point. Shit. I might as well set the precedent, man. Be like, hey, you guys don't need to suck Shonen Jump dick no more. Come on.
All right. So speaking of
That would be
base,
so-
speaking of
Be
base,
awesome, man.
yeah, like I think the big companies in manga are still probably less insufferable than in America. But yeah, from what you're saying, like yeah, they have all the control. So
Yeah, they
it's
do.
still, if you want to break free, it's a challenge. Maybe crowdfunding
Guess
is
how
the way
much
to go.
artists get paid?
Oh fuck!
So let's say
I don't want to think about it.
$10
How
an
much?
hour.
artists
10
only get
bucks?
10% of the revenue of whatever they put out.
Oh wow.
10%.
My
The
God.
publishers get 90.
God damn, dude.
Dude, yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
all that work, all that everything, and you make
Right.
something like no wonder they're milking the shit out of One Piece. It's like they get 90% of whatever One Piece is selling, like it's or Naruto or whatever. Like
They're
artists
Yeah.
like, we
only
need more of
get
those sexy figurines.
10.
I still can't
Hell
believe
yeah,
One Piece
man.
is still going. Fucking hell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
also
fucking- I
What
mean,
is even the
he's
plot?
crazy person.
Have you seen the boobs in that though, friend? I mean, come on.
Yeah, but
It's
what
all
is
about
even
the
the plot? Are they still looking for the treasure?
nobody's.
They're
still
never
nobody
gonna
knows what
find
One
it.
They're
Piece
never
is.
gonna find
They're
it.
never
Treasure
gonna
is in
find
your
it.
mind.
Oh my god. It's never gonna end. Well, that's why the companies like they do stuff like I heard the Bleach creator got so burned out because the company was pushing him to keep on continuing the story when he didn't want to, and
Yeah,
I guess that really just took all the creative juice out of it. So
they do that
yeah,
all the time. Like I genuinely wondered how they do that because it's not like they can. It's not like they could kidnap you, right? So I'm like, how do they do that though? And then, like, what I heard is like they genuinely guilt trip you. They're like, Shonen Jump is on your shoulders, and if you leave, the whole company will collapse. And do you want every
Oh my
employee to
God.
suffer? Or
really?
like,
Hmm.
yeah, I think that's the closest thing I've heard to what seems plausible. Like, I think that's how they do it. Like, they seriously make you feel like you're responsible for everything. And if you can leave now, but then you'll be labeled a fucking asshole in the industry. And like, I think that's how they keep you in. And like,
Jesus
and
Christ.
Damn, dude.
yeah, it's pretty
Pardon?
bad, man.
But like, well, Demon Slayer, Gotoge manages just ended where she
Yeah.
wanted to. So how do you think she managed that?
Probably
I
another
think
series
it's
of
just
points.
I think it's getting better, and I think because everything's shifting now. Like what I heard was Demon Slayer was made on the calculated to be a hit series through animation. Like they didn't, so it was like
Right.
it's not usually like that. Like I mean, if it's animated good, like and that's always the goal. But for Demon Slayer and like other comics these days, it's like specifically I think in mind before it sets off, they already have it envisioned as like an anime till like this. And so I think when things since I have been out of the industry for the past few years, like I can't say for sure, but from what I've heard, I think things are changing a little bit like that, where it's like becoming more like, yeah, shorter package, like this is what we want to get out, boom. And instead of like everything being prolonged the fuck out of, which is actually good in a way. So
That's good.
yeah, I don't really know, but we'll see.
Yeah, that's good to hear. That's
Yeah.
good to hear that things are
Yeah.
changing.
Yeah.
Some mangas mention constantly like character style. Yeah, that I mean you have that same kind of stuff in every
Yeah.
industry, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Mm.
let's see.
Yeah, like
So make your own stuff and get out to people who want it. Yep. Yeah. I mean, it's of course I'm biased, but I think indie is the way to go. And I don't know. I
sounds
think
like
that's the
it.
way comics should be created, like, or just creative
Right.
stuff, right? Like small
Right.
independent creative team, like that's how you make the good shit. Because Lord of the Rings, look at how those movies were. Like the book was just by one crazy guy, but the movies
Right.
weren't made by Hollywood committee. Like Hollywood didn't want to touch
Right.
those movies. Peter Jackson had to struggle to get it funded, and then they made it all at once. He was like, "This is our one chance. We have to make the movie. We have to make it good." Well, that's how you make good shit. Like Star Trek was just like a scrappy small thing when Roddenberry started it, and Star Wars as well. It was a risk, and it was just Lucas with this crazy idea nobody bought into. Like, so I really think it's. You can't have too many cooks in the kitchen, and big companies will kill creativity. So I
Damn,
support
I didn't know
more indie
any of
stuff.
that. Damn. Hell
Yeah. It's really interesting looking, especially how the Lord of the Rings movies were made.
Yeah,
It's a really
crazy.
interesting story. Yep. All right. Well, we're well over 3 hours now, so I think we should probably wrap it up. Perhaps this is a fantastic conversation. I am loath to leave everyone, but I have work to do because I'm gonna be up all night drawing.
Woot!
Woo! All right. So why don't let's go around. Why don't you, all of you, tell everyone where to find you? Start with you, Tatsumi.
All right. Well, you can find me on tatsumikyo.com, TATSUMI, tatsumikyo, kyo.com. And my Instagram is under the same name, Tatsumi Kyo. And yeah, as I mentioned, I've been kind of out of the game for a while, but I'm getting back in. So hopefully I'll see all of you sooner than later. And then I'll have Irene help me out, gonna suck out all the wisdom out of her and promote myself.
Nah, I'm just gonna yapping on a camera, but you're welcome here anytime. Like, by the way, if you, I know like the time difference is crazy, but if you want to just come on and chat, like be a regular, that's cool too.
Oh, yeah.
So just let me know,
No
man.
question.
Yeah,
Alright.
if it helps your motivation, if you just want to talk comics, like I'm always here. So,
Yeah, for sure. I'll
But
just
I'm glad you're
chat you
back.
and be like, yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah, fantastic. All right.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
No, thank you for coming on. This was great. All right, Dan, where can people find you?
You can find me on the YouTube under Boop Dan Art. Go please sign up there. I need some subs.
Okay.
And
Please link his channel.
be sure to check me out on Twitter. Twitter's probably the best way to interact with me because it's the thing I check the most. Everybody's awesome and like always great time talking to anybody. And then go to Indiegogo, sign up for the mailing list for Goblin Girl. There's some like cool freebie stuff that will be available to the mailing list people only. But you will still be able to back that book potentially early next month. And I finished 2 more pages on Rene's show today, so we're even closer to finishing the book.
Yes!
God damn.
Well,
Okay.
it's partially done. It's
Oh,
almost
okay. It's only partially.
Okay, so
I got that one, and then I got
finish,
this one
Give
done.
me a heart attack. Okay,
God damn, dude.
that does look good.
So
though.
it's just two liner. I still got to do the great zoning. That's where the heavy lifting is.
You can see
Dan
the,
is the man.
enthusiasm left her.
Dan. What? No, it's still here. Back up, go! Back up! Okay.
Okay. All right. Settle down.
Comics. Okay. Chimera, your book is not in demand anymore, but where can people find you?
Yeah,
Do you want
Chimera
people
the
to
Hut.
find you? Okay, there you go.
I guess. Yeah, Chimera the Hut, Twitter. Should be getting my proof next week, hopefully. And yeah, start shipping books.
Fantastic. Yeah, your book is in print right now, isn't it?
It's at the printer, yep.
Awesome. Cool. I can't wait to get mine. I'm very much looking forward to it. All right, and you guys can find me at Rainy Draws everywhere on YouTube, of course. Subscribe if you haven't yet, because I want any more subscribers. And I don't know, I have a. Oh, by the way, I have 1,000 subscribers now, so that's awesome. Thank you so much. But I still have to get to 4,000 watch hours to be monetized, so that's not happening anytime soon.
Oh,
but thank you,
shit.
anyways, to everyone who has subscribed. You guys are awesome. And you can also find me at Rainy Draws. I'm Rainy Draws like everywhere, so Twitter, and subscribe to my Instagram as well. And also go check out my Fiendish Instagram. It's linked from my main Instagram account, so fiendish.comic. I post exclusively Fiendish stuff on there. And yeah, come. I'm always on Twitter. And I do YouTube shows every Wednesday usually we start at 8 p.m. on this channel. And we just talk about comics and we promote stuff. So come back next week at the same time for the same kind of good shit. And thank you guys so much for watching. You've been awesome. Woo! Yeah! All right. Sam hasn't seen the trailer for Phoenix, so I'm gonna close out on it this time. And
Oh yeah,
there you go.
please.
Yeah. Let's see if I can find it. Tech is hard. Oh my gosh. Okay, there we go. Okay, everybody, have a great night. Bye. Have a guys.
See ya.
Bye.